hello. It worked, it worked, it worked, it worked. It worked. Dum, 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 dum. Oh, hi everyone. How's everyone doing? I thought since no one's streaming on Chesh's channel, I'll take this opportunity and take over again and use this time to stream. And I have Athens in the live chat, Victoria, and then my Gobo also in the live chat. Hello, my Gobo. How you doing? Yes, you can hear me. Thanks to Athens, I remembered to unmute myself before starting to speak. So, thanks, Athens. Yes, Chesh, we are all excited to see you on your own channel. It's been a while. When am I getting my Gobo time? That's the first question I'm gonna ask. So, but yesterday I stopped at a certain point covering Claire's stream, so I thought I would continue and finish it off today. And yes, Melon Lord Hijack. My Jack. Oh my god, that's a cool one. So, and as I was going through Claire's channel to look at what she has been doing recently, I saw that she streamed the murder retrial, and she just totally stole the content.
Question, and then if you have a problem,
sorry, I'll just mute it just so that we don't get copyright striked or something. But she just restreamed it from another channel, and you can see her like mouth moving,
it's easier
but
just to
she's
now
not
we can
saying
email.
anything.
If you don't want to talk to each other,
It's
you
just
email each other.
She's just stealing content now. That's up she's doing, straight up just stealing content. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stealing content from other channels. There's no commentary. You can go and check it. Hold on, let me just share it with you guys. You can go and check it yourself. There is no, and I mean, there is no commentary throughout this. It's just restreaming from another channel. I think so. I don't know, maybe Court TV or somewhere she picked it up from, and she restreamed it. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you stealing content from other channels? And another weird thing happened while she was live. The total number of participants I saw in the live chat, they were like maximum 5 participants. But her live viewers kept fluctuating from 500, 600 to 2,000. But there were only 5 participants in the live chat. That's what I thought. And I was like, what's going on here? This doesn't make sense. Because I went to Court TV's live chat, and there were so many participants. There were more than 20 participants in the live chat, and they had 6,000 viewers watching them on average. And they were all members who were, because it was members or subscribers only mode that was on the Court TV channel. And that difference really stood out to me. I was like, what's going on here? If I may, let me just see if I can bring it up. Let's see. Let's see if I can open it here. Look at this. These are the number of people I could see. That's it, in Claire's live chat. But if I go back and I look, the number of people on average who was supposed to be watching her were this one here. It says, if I make it a bit, so this one is 528. If I just sorry, I don't know why it's not popping up. Yeah, there we go. 528 here, right? And I don't know why. And then it goes on to the final number that I saw before I decided to move on. Oh no. No. Hold on. No, not copying image. Copy. Yeah. Here we go. 2006. And I was like, what's going on here? The numbers are fluctuating. There are only so many participants, But when I looked at court TV, they were on average 6,000 people watching that live stream. And then these are the number of people that were there. Look at this. Holy moly. And these are all members. So and she was just straight up stealing content. That's all she's doing. I'm like, what are you doing here? But okay, whatever. She wants her channel to be that way. That's up to her. But we will continue from last where we left off. If I'm not wrong, I left off at 1 hour 16-minute mark. Hopefully, I'll be able to complete it today and we'll be done. And then we'll see what she comes up with next, and I'll see if I find it good enough to be skinned apart, or it's just stupid bullshit she's repeating again. So what I'm gonna do is, give me 1 second, please. I'm gonna go and see if I can get the transcripts. Here are the transcripts, and we are going to go with the playback speed of 1.2 at least, because I want, no offense, they talk slowly, and I want to get this done quickly. Chesh from the live chat with the skull emoji. I missed the last one. What happened? TLDR. You mean the last stream I covered? They get they're talking about anger as something that makes you weak or makes you wrong all the time, when it's not, or that you have something to hide if you're angry, when that's not how it goes. And they say if you're calm, then you probably win all the time, and that's not what it is. Someone who's calm can be, it's about the ethics and the accountability behind it. Is someone angry, does have a valid point or not? Or whether someone who's calm, do they have a valid point or not, or are they lying or not? That is the main issue. But for some reason, they're reading this author Greene, and they just like, manipulate people around you in workplace and everything, and they're trying to give these examples amongst your friends, workplace, and customer service, police, and everything, and they get it so wrong. They forget that it's about ethics, standards, accountability, and being true to yourself rather than manipulating people. And they're telling people to manipulate everyone in their daily lives. And I'm just like, what are you doing here, sitting here? And they just go with, I agree with the author, blah, blah, blah. And then they come up with the most absurd explanations. We'll see. They have a example here that they will go with, which is customer is always right. And they get it wrong. They're trying to apply Greene's like standards of baiting or goading people into getting angry and into outbursts in order to, if you want to show yourselves to be the reasonable one or the one who looks credible, you can do so by baiting someone into an outburst or getting angry, which is not how it works. Not in today's world. It's not that simple. So, trying to tell everyone to be Machiavellian sociopaths, in short. Yes, you're right. You're right, Chesh. It's absolutely absurd. It's so hollow, superficial, shallow, and no extra thought. No extra thought behind the words or the author they're reading. Nothing. Yeah, you can do that, but when you're trying to say, it just moves away. You're telling people to manipulate others. Is that ethical? In my opinion, is that ethical? Is that what you want to do? I'm just saying. And people listen to this nonsense. All right, let me see. Closed captions on. Here we go. Let's make sure we can listen to this properly. Desktop audio is on. Okay, cool. Here we go. No, that's not ethical. No. And it's like you're sitting there and telling people to do unethical things. What's your point? It was as if like Claire is trying to convince herself that if she does not respond to the criticism she's getting, she's winning. That's what I thought that was happening here. So yeah, it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
And the worst thing that ever happened was people misconstruing the saying "the customer is always right" and not properly saying the entire quote, which is "the customer is always right in matters of taste."
That's true. People always leave the back part off. And what they really meant is you've got to produce a product that actually people want.
Yes.
That's what it meant. It didn't have anything to
Right, Chesh, you're right. You can do this, but then you can't do this and be on a moral high horse. You're actually very, very right. That's what Claire does. She pretends she's right. Okay, let's manipulate, and then you can't have your cake and eat it too. Simple as that. Simple. You can't have your cake and eat it too. That's not how it does. Either. Also, and her co-host's responses to your criticism was definitely not calm. So I guess Mane is right. No, that's not what that means, Claire. Right? No. I will correct her. They both get this slogan wrong. They both got it wrong about it. I don't know where they do their research from. I have no idea where they do their research from. It's absolutely bullshit.
do with customer service.
It
had to do with mission statements, business plans, and actually putting out products that actually consumers would want. Like,
yes.
Thank you for bringing that up. Like, not many people know that. Okay, Amber says, "Oh, you're right, Amber. His only mistakes are not saving his." Oh my goodness! We just lost $1.50, but that's okay, Amber, because you're right. Only mistakes are not saving his. Oh my goodness!
Oh, what did he say? We have a president like that in the U.S. According to him, his only mistake was not saving his good pal Jeffrey. Oh my God!
You're right, Amber.
What are you talking?
His only mistakes are not saving his. Oh my goodness! We just lost $1.50, but that's okay.
They're not doing
because
any
you're right.
research,
You're right, and when you're right, you're right. It's worth losing that $1.50. Okay.
Oh,
Move on.
man.
Okay,
no,
so over here, this whole thing, McCracker saying that the original quote is "the customer is always right in matters of taste," and Claire agrees, and then goes on to say original had nothing to do with customer service, only producing products people want. That's internet folklore, and that clearly tells me they have done no research. And there's it's absolutely ridiculous. Researchers have found no evidence. I, in my research, found no evidence that in matters of taste part was originally part of the slogan. And they also show nothing as reference here. I don't have a live chat, so I don't know if they put any any reference in the live chat. If you look in the description, the only thing they have put here are the slides, presentation slides that are on the screen, and then they put the PDF in. But if someone has to look for references, they will have to go through there. But I don't think so. This example is in the book. It's not in the book. They have brought up this example and are trying to use Greene's philosophy in all the examples that they're bringing up. So they have no proof of what they're talking about, or they have not done no research. In early 20th century, what I found was that the users were explicitly connected to customer complaints and satisfaction, trust, returns, and service policies, not merely product design. The modern add-on that is here today, it may express a sensible limitation. Customer decides what they personally like, but they're not automatically right about facts or law, safety, or policy. That does not make it the original quotation at all. So this is a classic appeal to Fuller quote. A viral correction feels sophisticated because it tells the audience everyone else has been repeating a mutilated phrase. But the correction itself is the myth or folklore. Claire's confident expansion into, quote, mission statements and business plans, unquote, compounds the error. She's not merely repeating a wording, she invents an original purpose. Yeah, or quality, or what people actually want. Exactly. So, according to my reference that I found, Snoop's in the enigmatic origins of the customer is always right, unquote, on 1st of January 2025, there's no finding in matters of taste part of the original slogan. So here's my article, if I can bring it up. That's the one. The enigmatic origins of the customer is always right. And I'll put it in the live chat. So yeah, go away. So Snoops found no evidence that in matters of taste, quote unquote, was part of the original phrase. Historical uses of the customer is always right concern treating complaints seriously and protecting customer confidence. So the fallacies that are being committed here are false etymology. A later elaboration of the slogan is incorrectly presented as the omitted original wording. Appeal to secret knowledge. The speakers present themselves. They're presenting themselves as knowing the supposedly hidden complete version of a saying without first establishing that history. They show nothing to establish the fact that that was the original slogan. Then confidence cascade. One unsupported claim is elaborate into a broader history. Consensus reinforcement. The co-host's agreement substitutes for verification. So the full quote that they're claiming is a latter edition, not the original quote. So I don't know where they're getting this from. It's absolutely ridiculous that they keep on doing this again and again. And none of them, they're not questioning each other at all. Nor anyone in the audience. So far, I've heard 2 people's name in the live chat. So I don't know how many people are in the live chat because there's no live chat on the screen, and there's no live chat available under this live stream. So,
and besides that, people screw up most sayings anyway. Like the greatest one that I hear getting screwed up all the time is having your cake and eating it too. It's actually not have your cake and eat it too. It's eat your cake and have it too, because you can actually have your cake. And you can eat it too, because those are things that come after each other.
That is actually. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But you can't eat your cake and have it too, because once you've eaten your cake, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. That is a whole nother show that we should do, like maybe when we're on break.
Yeah,
of the sayings that people have mangled throughout history, what they really were and what they turned into. Because that's a perfect one.
I don't trust you to do it right.
Doesn't make any sense, but we all say it that way. We all say it that way. Yeah.
Yes.
Sin says we have a good example here.
So, McRecker is over here is saying that familiar order is mangled and that correct form is eat your cake and have it too. Claire agrees that the common form makes no sense. This is another overconfident etymology correction. Both word orders are historically attested. The eat it and have it order can make the sequential logic more explicit, but the standard modern idiom is have one's cake and eat it too. And the but the standard what do you say? The standard modern have one's cake and eat it too. It's not correct, but have means retain or continue possessing, not merely holding it for 1 second before eating, right? That's what it is. Yeah, you should get tea. Idioms also do not require literal procedural sequencing. The meaning is that you cannot retain 2 mutually incompatible benefits. That's all it means. So the accurate statement is an older reversed form exists and some people find it logically clearer. The inaccurate statement is the common form is a historically corruption that doesn't make sense. Merriam-Webster lists that have one's cake and eat it too is the standard idiom. Historical records contain both orders, including a 1538 quote version and a 1546 version. Yeah. I'm having scones for breakfast, nice. So if I go here, So here we go, Merriam-Webster dictionary. Like, do your freaking research, you assholes. Have one's cake and eat it too, to have or enjoy good parts of something without having or dealing with the bad parts. That's what it is. And then you can't have your cake and eat it. The meaning of many medieval proverbs isn't clear. They depend on context and on knowledge and the use of language. Those who live in the UK of a certain age may remember the BBC radio show My Word, in which the comedy script writers Frank Muir and Dennis Norton were asked to make up stories about popular phrases. In memory of them, if memory serves as correct, it was Frank Muir who told a tale of an Eskimo padding in his crow. You can have your kayak and eat it too. Like, have your cake and eat is in printed material over time. So this is my reference here, so I'll just put it. Yeah, an idiom is only as useful as the people interpret it. That you're right, Chesh. It's ridiculous that these people just sit there and they just talk nonsense. That's all they do. They're not talking anything beneficial here. It's just absolute nonsense. And while Claire is busy now stealing content from other channels, that's now she is reduced to channel 2. Brilliant. Kayak, yeah, you can't have your kayak and eat it and heat it too. So the fallacies that are being again, almost the same fallacies being committed here. Etymological fallacy. The present meaning or validity of an idiom is judged by preferred older wording rather than the actual usage. False exclusivity. One historical variant is declared the only correct form. Literalism about the idiom. An idiom is criticized as illogical by reading it as a literal sequence rather than as a conventional expression of incompatible aims. Both of the orders are correct, Claire and Wrecker. Just, God, children, they have not studied grammar or English or literature. That clearly tells me. And that's what I keep saying. These people think just because they can speak English, anything that comes out of their mouth is correct and is profound and should be, ooh, wow, listen to this. They're so, whatever the fuck. It's heat. Heat your kayak, not eat. But I think so I know why they did it, because it's kayak can be like a cake's variant depending on which language inflection you're using, like which country's English inflection you're using, right? And then heat and eat can, they sound similar. So this is worse than I'm 14 and this is deep. Yeah. All right, moving on. Okay, here we go.
For that, a musician claimed he has been discriminated for being Jewish by hotel staff, and he sued. Media backlash gave the hotel bad rep. The employee got scolded. Then came out the musician faked everything, and that tanked his career, as it should.
That sounds like an entitled article.
So Claire, your channel should go out because you're stealing content from other channels, as it should, like you said, right? You're just restreaming other people, like other channels' trials. That's what you're doing. So without adding any commentary. So that should happen with you too, right? You said it, as it should. Bitch! Follow your own advice. Thank you very much. How about that? I'm 40 and this is wise. Oh, nice. I like that. Yeah, it's a pun. All right.
Artist. That absolutely sounds like an entitled artist. I'm
so glad
Sounds
he got repercussion for that, because what?
Me too.
He actually faked discrimination to get his way and put that on an employee. Oh my. Oh man, that's
Oh, Rose, how are you? Long time no see. How goodness. Oh my god, I'm behind. But the saying is you can't have your cake and eat it too. They are mutually exclusive. This is not difficult. No, it's not. It's not, Rose. You're right. Catch up soon. Catch up soon. Catch up soon. Oh my god, I'm so happy to see you. It's been a while since I saw you. We saw you around. Oh, heart. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Here we go. So a chat message describes a musician who falsely accused hotel staff of anti-Semitism. The host immediately condemned the musician and says his career was rightly destroyed. The underlying case, I think what they're referring to is to be of Gil Oferim, and the central allegation is real. He eventually admitted in the court that he fabricated the hotel accusation. But the hosts don't identify him, and they don't ask for a source from the person in the live chat. They don't distinguish allegation from adjudicated fact or check the details before moralizing. That is just rumor laundering. That's what it is. A chat anecdote becomes a case study because it fits the lesson. However, I can, if this is what they want to go with, I would just say, Claire, you should just stop stealing other channels' content and restreaming it on your channel without adding any commentary. Like, I'm sitting here, I am criticizing you, I'm adding commentary. You didn't do that when you were streaming Murder Trial just yesterday, a few hours ago. Chesh, adults, adulting, yeah. So Claire and Recker, they were fortunate here that the core story was true, but the method or the methodology is still bad. Quote-unquote, tanked his career is also a broader claim requiring evidence. He faced serious legal, reputational, and professional consequences, but a total career collapse claim is not established merely by the chat summary. A responsible live response would be something like, that sounds like this person or Gil Oferim case, let us verify the name and outcome before using it. Verification doesn't become optional simply because the story confirms your moral intuitions. If we are fact-checking, then Gil Oferim admitted that he had invented his claim that a Leipzig hotel employee discriminated against him for wearing a Star of David. The proceedings were discontinued subject to payments, and the falsely accused employee was vindicated. And here's my resource for it. This is from Associated Press. Here we go. And this was when? What was the date on this? There's no date. Hold on. There must be a date somewhere. I don't know. But here it is. But again, I don't... Yeah, whatever. Moving on. So, errors, fallacy, and qualifications. Rumor laundering, an unverified audience anecdote, is repeated and morally interpreted as though it were established fact. Confirmation bias. An unverified anecdote is accepted quickly because it fits the speaker's existing expectations about entitlement or manipulation. Moral judgment before identification. The speakers condemn the person and celebrate the consequences before verifying who the anecdote concerns or whether the details are accurate. Possible overstatement of consequence. The reported outcome may be directionally correct, but the scale or certainty of the career consequence is stated more strongly than the supplied evidence supports. A true story does not excuse an unverified method. Simple as that. Moving on. Here we go.
I used to refer to cops
Hi,
writing
EMP
speeding
Network.
tickets as handing out customer service awards. You know what? We are entertained by these because, what I will say that it has reaffirmed that my tax dollars going towards body cam is a really good thing.
Body cams were the greatest thing.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I would say I no longer like I find with my local taxes going to debt. Absolutely. Seeing like what they have to deal with sometimes and how things escalate, and and it goes both ways. It protects both parties. It's
Absolutely.
right. It adds that element of accountability that's not deniable. Body cam, not in every situation, because interpretation and everything.
Oh, there's always going to be issues no matter what. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I think our last one's on you here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Group projects.
So both Claire and McGregor, they praise body-worn cameras as protecting both parties and adding an element of accountability that is quote-unquote not deniable. Yes, body-worn cameras can be extremely useful evidence tools. They can document encounters, resolve some complaints, support prosecutions, exonerate officers or civilians, and improve review. But quote-unquote the greatest thing, and quote-unquote protects both parties and a quote-unquote accountability that is not deniable, overstates the evidence. Cameras have blind spots. They can be turned off, activated late, pointed away, obstructed, muted, or stripped of events outside the frame. Camera perspective itself affects interpretation, and also the footage might be denied entry into evidence based on broader context of a case. It can happen sometimes. Footage does not automatically reveal intent, prior events, what a person saw, or whether policy and law are followed. Research findings are mixed. Some studies report fewer complaints or use of force incidents. Others find no effect or even increases in some outcomes. A systematic review found substantial uncertainty about the use of force effects and noted that research had not directly established broader accountability improvements. Accountability is a system. Activation rules, storage, disclosure, independent review, discipline, supervision, privacy protections, public record rules, and consequences. A camera without those systems is a recording device, not accountability by itself. So if we fact check them, systematic reviews find that body cameras may reduce complaints, but results for force and other behaviors are inconsistent, and broader accountability effects remain uncertain. There are summaries, likewise, that report mixed results across departments. And for that one, I will give you my resources, because that's what I do. Here we go. Yeah, turn off the AI answer, guys. So, body-worn cameras' effects on police officers and citizen behavior do not have a clear or consistent effects mostly. And then there's another one that I have. This is Campbell. If I may show. This is Campbell. Here we go. And then here's this one. Come on, load. Huh? Unknown error. What the hell? Come on. Here we go. This is National Institute of Justice. Use of body-worn cameras. This is how it's done, Clear. They just sit there and just go yapping away, stealing content, and don't know what they're talking about. Absolutely no clue. Moving on to the errors. To the errors, fallacy, and qualifications. Technological solutionism. A recording technology is treated as though its presence automatically produces fairness or accountability without considering policy and institutional response. Overgeneralization from compelling footage. Memorable recorded incidents are treated as representative of policing or public behavior generally. Availability bias, memorable clips dominate judgment. Equivocation, evidence capture is equated with both institutional accountability. Live, like if we go with a punchline, if we want to go for it, is like camera doesn't equal to complete context, and it does not definitely equal to automatic accountability. So yeah, moving on. Here we go. Let's see what next. We'll go to 125. Actually, let's see. Okay, yeah, we'll go with 125.47. Because I don't want to waste time today. Let's see, 125.47, 125.47. Come on. 32, 40. There we go.
Easy, unfortunately. It's different in school because everyone's generally doing the same thing, but in a workplace...
You have some amazing employee rights in New Zealand. Like, I'm fascinated with your
hell
perception. You do.
That would actually be a good topic for McGregor to talk about if he's willing to research and talk about it with Claire. But I know they both don't have the brains for it. They don't. They can't. They will come up with, they will make they will do Google search, come up with silly slides, and then put in their stupid bullshit in there.
You know, but that's on another subject. These are actually quotes from the book that we put with imagery to make them just a little more, you know, to make.
Did you use AI for this?
Fancies.
Claire, did you use AI for this? Looks like you used AI for this. Because if I look, the fish don't seem to have eyes. On, maybe they have, but it looks AI. To me, it looks AI. Lazy as fuck. Yes. They're lazy as fuck. I've never seen such lazy people. And they think that people will appreciate this kind of lazy content. Yeah, and lazy masquerading as high intellect content. Yes, Tesh, you're right. You're right.
So to speak. Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like to read them?
I would be happy to read them. The pond of fish. The waters are clear and calm, and the fish are well below the surface. Stir the waters, and they emerge. Stir it some more, and they get angry, rising to the surface, biting whatever comes near, including a freshly baited hook.
True. Which we don't want to take, right? Don't take
No.
the bait. It's not.
Yes.
The only way to preserve your personal power is to don't take the bait. As soon
Yes,
as you
or
do,
if you're going to take the bait, make sure you know what the bait is and the result of taking it.
exactly. They take that pause, figure it out, move forward. No, I get you. I hear you. Sometimes it is appropriate. That's right.
So they're just repeating shit now. They have done it before and they're repeating it now. And we are in what? Almost near 1 hour 30 minutes point. And again, Claire is repeating same shit. McGregor is repeating the same shit. Do you have anything else to add here? You've said this before. All right, move on.
Situation is going to be different. Not always a simple answer.
Just because you have added pretty pictures doesn't add anything new to it, does it? Oh, I have added pretty pictures. God. Yeah, AI. Boo. Boo.
Not always the same answer. How many times do we say that during this series?
Yeah, unfortunately, life isn't always as simple as, hey, just do this one thing.
Oh, here's your man again.
Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu.
Good guy.
Yeah.
How?
Got a wall.
Yep. I heard he makes a terrible coffee, though.
Being a team man, I can see why. Just go.
You know,
Just read it.
if your opponent is of a hot temper, try to irritate him. If he is arrogant, try to encourage his egotism. One who is skilled at making the enemy move does so by creating a situation according to which the enemy will act. Why is that not? Hang on. It's looking. There we go. He entices the enemy with something he is certain to take. He keeps the enemy on the move by holding out bait and then attacks him with picked troops. Sun Tzu, 4th century BC. For some reason, that part of my screen was looking really blurry. I might need to check that.
It's the two tones. If you rather me not use them next time, I won't. If it's a
No. The screen was. I think it was having a little bit of a hissy fit.
Oh, okay.
Again, AI. Oof.
Yep. All right. Now we get to. We're doing good on time.
Are you?
We're on the questions.
So, Greene's pawn metaphor and Sun Tzu's passage about irritating a hot-tempered enemy come up again and are read, and they're just repeating themselves at this point. Quoting Sun Tzu while having no clue on the value of the quote it's absolutely ugh. Yeah, I'm getting rage baited now. The metaphor is for Greene's, like these metaphors, metaphor, it's catchy and corrosive. Once people are dehumanized and become fish, or become the prey, and the opponents become opponents become enemies, curiosity gives way to predation. The framework is encouraging you to ask what bait will make them bite, instead of what facts, needs, duties, and boundaries are present. Right? What are they present or not? And what accountability measures are present? Military deception can be rational in war. Sure, it does not follow that covert provocation is healthy in family, dating, friendship, or even ordinary work. Where are you going with this? Clare and McCracker, they both repeatedly attempt to domesticate or normalize Greene by saying viewers should mainly recognize when the tactic is used against them. That is the mote, a defensible lesson in awareness. But the Bailey repeatedly returns, identify weak points, elicit reactions, manufacture anger, and use information against people. A defensive guide should say, just plainly just say and state, do not intentionally provoke dysregulation in vulnerable people. Use direct questions, transparent expectations, evidence, and proportionate boundaries. In this whole stream, neither Clare nor McCracker, they don't draw that ethical line at all. Yeah, this is stupid. You're right, Victoria. Yeah, I don't know why we're bringing Sun Tzu into this. That's art of war. Why are you making everyday life, like family, friendships, and work, war? Like what? That tells me these two have never worked a day in their life. These two have never worked a day in their life. Yeah, Wrecker, I'm talking about you too. Even though you live in New Zealand. I lived in New Zealand. I worked 2 jobs at a time. I don't know about you. Seriously. The way you're talking. So, errors, fallacy, and qualifications. Predatory framing. The language of bait, fish, traps, and capture encourages audience to view communication as hunting rather than mutual problem solving. Faulty cross-domain analogy. A principle drawn from war or power competition is transferred to ordinary relationships without showing that the relevant conditions are comparable. Mote and Bailey, they do this a lot. The speaker defends a modest claim when challenged, then returns to a much broader and less defensible claim once the pressure passes. Appeal to ancient authority and old strategic text is treated as inherently authoritative rather than as a historical viewpoint that still requires evidence. People are not fish. Do not dehumanize them. And conflict is not sport. They're so bored, so starved for attention because no one in their life listens to them. Can't imagine why. Right? Absolutely ridiculous. Moving on. 129.43. 129.43. Here we go.
Okay, Rekha, you're up first. Have you ever seen
Okay.
someone win an argument simply because they stayed calm while the other person became visibly angry?
Oh yes, constantly. Could I name it
Oh.
specifically? Probably not.
Oh yes, let's go with vague specific evidence, anecdotal evidence. Yeah, of course. Of course.
Because there's more often than not, the person who stays the calmest is always going to come out on top.
Always.
I
Always.
I used to see it a lot when I used to watch a lot of debates. Whenever one of the debaters would get irate, the other one always ended up managing to like catch them out on something.
True, because they're being emotional, not their guards down a little bit. They're not prepared. But here's the thing: this isn't about winning and losing. It's about perceived winning and losing.
Yes.
Like, the calm person's going to be perceived as the winner, even if the angry person is actually right and has every reason to be upset or whatever. Like, they're just going to come off wrong based on the outburst. You know what I mean? So it's like perceived winning and losing.
That is not true. That is not true at all. Oh my
is what I
God.
mean, instead of like the actual who's in the right and who's in the wrong. By staying calm, you automatically have the perception of being the one who's right.
Yep. Yeah, and that is
That's
true.
not always fair, but it is a
No.
way to protect your power. It is a way to gain power in the situation, and that's what we're talking about here, right?
This is so stupid. This is, oh my God. Chess, she's rage baiting me. Should I get angry? Oh my God. Fuck my life. These two, oh my God. Just bring up like, oh, have you seen someone, who lost because they were angry but right? And McGregor's like, yeah, I've seen it several times, but I can't give you a specific example. And then he goes with this again, he makes this absolute overgeneralization and simplified claim of like a calmest person always comes out on top. And then Claire goes on to say the calm person is perceived as the winner even if the angry person is actually right. And McGregor is agreeing with her just like casually. And this thing just dismantles the entire framework. They have just admitted that a calm person can be wrong while the angry person can be right, and the audience may still award victory to the calm person. That means calmness is not evidence, it is a credibility costume. And once you know that, the rational lesson is to correct for the bias. You should be correcting yourself for the bias, and you should telling your audience to do that too. They're not to fall for the calm. You know why people always, supported Renelle? Because she always appeared to be calm. That's what her audience falls for. They think because she's talking calmly, she's right and she's correct and she has got the facts. And if someone like me or Chesh, we come in passionately and we tell her she's wrong and we present the facts, they say because we're angry, you're wrong. And that's the problem. That's the bias, and you should be saying not to fall for such biases. And yes, Chesh is right, not every conversation is a debate. So as I said, once you know that distinction, the rational lesson is to correct for the bias, separate delivery from proposition, ask for what evidence supports each claim, identify whether the emotional response is proportionate to the stakes. Do not punish a valid complaint merely for visible distress or passion. Do not reward a polished speaker for remaining aesthetically pleasant. Instead, they still, like Claire and McGregor, they're still saying that it's a way to gain or protect power. So they're knowingly teaching their audience how to exploit a bias they have just identified, instead of honestly telling the audience to correct when they recognize their bias. It may be descriptively accurate. We have seen that. I've given you Rennell Smith's example. It might be descriptively accurate. The audiences often respond to confidence and composure, but it is not a truth-seeking method. It is reputation management. Yeah, because they claim the other party is angry. Yeah, Chesh, you're right. Regardless of the tone or behavior of the other person and their actual emotional state. There have been so many times that people have said that I'm angry or that I'm aggressive because I'm passionate, and I'm direct. Behavior and presentation alone are poor tools for judging the truth. I think so. I came across a review while I was doing this that estimates that roughly 54% accuracy when people judge veracity from speech or behavior alone. Hold on. I think so. It's in my first reference. Hold on. Hold on. It's in this one, the very first one. It's saving it. Nope. There we go. So yeah, that's my reference for this one. Going back. Where did my timestamp go? My timestamp. My notes. Yeah, here we go. So errors and fallacy here and qualifications. Demeanor fallacy, explicitly acknowledged, actually. They admit, like McCracker and Claire, they admit that calmness can make a person look like the winner, even when that person is factually wrong, proving the cue is not about appearance rather than the truth. Appeal to confidence. A composed or confident delivery is treated as increasing the truth of the claim, although confidence and accuracy are separate. Style over substance. The persuasiveness of the delivery is allowed to outweigh whether the reasons and evidence are correct. Descriptive to normative slide. This has also happened a lot. Because a bias exists, use it. Calm does not automatically mean correct, and they just admitted it. That's what they did. So moving on. Yeah, guess, MLK was wrong because he was so aggressive in his speeches. Yeah, Chesh. She has inflection. No. We have been live for an hour. Let's take a quick 5-minute break. I want to make another cup of coffee and then we'll get back. Yeah, only like 45 minutes, 44, 43 more minutes left. I think that we should be able to do it in another hour or so. Hour or hour and a half. So just let's take a quick break. Break time. Be right back. I need more coffee. That was almost a perfect transition, wasn't it? All right, here we go. Let's go. Let's get this done.
Yeah, and that is
That's
true.
not always fair, but it is a way to protect your power. It is a way to gain power in the situation.
How fragile are you? I'm just gonna ask you, how fragile are you that you have to use deceptive means to protect your power? Just saying. It's just and if you cannot take the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen, Claire and McGregor. If you can't, simple as that. Oh my God.
Situation, and that's what we're talking about here, right? We're not talking about whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing.
Yeah, you don't care whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing. That's quite evident. You don't give a fuck, do you? Like you never gave a fuck whether what was right and wrong when you sided with Steve when the separation happened, when you went live with Aaron, going after Chesh. When Chesh you screwed Chesh for the mediation call by letting Steve choose the mediator. Yeah, you don't care about what's right and wrong, Claire. You never did. All you cared about was people, took you as someone who's very sweet and innocent, and who's always want to stay out of trouble while being vindictive at the same time. You bitch. You cunt. I don't care. I'll call your names. Am I wrong? Is I coming across as wrong? Or am I coming across as a person who knows what the fuck they're talking about? I think I'm coming across as that. This bitch steals content. just straight up just picks it up and restreams it on a channel. She doesn't care what's right and wrong. She doesn't care about the terms of services or ethics. Nah, she doesn't. Fuck.
This is the perception of it. This is how that power goes back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. And
that's what she's trying to do here. She's trying to convince herself that because she can create this perception about herself, that she's the calm one and she's the reasonable one, people should believe her rather than someone like me who comes in passionately and criticizes her and points out, like, bitch, you're full of shit. So, that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to convince herself of that.
That is true. Like, normally the most calm person,
yeah, I'm doing some mind reading, but it's quite evident.
Exactly, Maya. Thank you for bringing that up, because I didn't mean. You know what? The delay.
What is it? When you lose your cool, you trigger a number of chemicals that make it hard to think clearly. Where's my citation needed thingy? Hold on, I need my citation needed. Where is it? I need to find that. Nah, we need to start asking for that. Why didn't I think of that earlier? That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Hold on. Here we go. Where's my citation needed? Where's my citation needed? Here we go. Citation needed. Bloody hell. Citation needed. Citation needed. Seriously. Yeah, Chesh, you're right. If she hates someone or if she hates you, yeah, I know you don't care about that. I get it. But it's really silly of her to pretend that she's everyone's friends all the time and like she's not a backstabber. Yeah. And at least you're not pretending, exactly. Yeah, lose your cool is too loose of a language, yeah. It depends. Context is important. Like, if there's a malpractice that resulted in someone, close to you passing away or dying, or in that resulted in a fatality in your family, aren't you going to lose your cool on that? Of course you're going to lose your cool on that. Making these like oversimplified and generic statements with no context, absolutely bullshit. And I say here, Maya, we need citation. Citation needed. Simple as that. Let's move on.
I just heard that last word, and I did not mean to cut you off. Would you finish that?
I think my mind started reading the comment because I was going to say, when you lose your cool, you trigger a number of chemicals that make it hard to think clearly.
Exactly. As I was saying, I'm so glad you brought that up, because while we were researching this, we always look at the psychological impacts of why this works, why these laws work on people with green. And that came.
Hold on. Again, citation needed. You say you look at the psychological impacts. Where are your studies? Where the fuck are your studies? At least I'm presenting citations of what I found or what I am talking about. Where the fuck are where is your shit? This whole claim of, while we were researching this, we always look at the psychological impacts of why this works. Bitch, where? Where? Not once in this stream you have put up a reference in your live chat, on your screen, nowhere. Where? Yeah, Chesh, you're also right, because if you just drop it and move on, people like Claire take advantage of your silence to pretend some kind of amicability. Yeah. Oh no, I'm not amicable with this bitch at all. I'm not. She can pretend that she's all sweet and calm and, oh, whoa, me, I'm so, nice to everyone. I want to stay friends with everyone. Oh, fuck you, bitch. Yeah, the psychological impacts of what? Of anger, of staying calm, in what situation? Like, of Sun Tzu. Yeah, right? Yeah. Rose, she read it off the back of a box of Captain Crunch cereal. Fish bash into the desk. Yes. Move. I think so. I have that GIF. Hold on, I need to find it, but I think so. I have it. Hold on. Okay, hold on. We need to find that. Where is that? It's one of my favorites. This one. Yes, this one. This one is my favorite. Hold on. Another one coming in, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. This one. Face palm, everyone. Oh god. Okay, actually this is not face palm, this is face bash into desk, isn't it? That's what this is. Here we go. Manya hasn't been since like 4 years ago. No, I'm not cool with this bitch. This bitch has irritated the fuck out of me since the whole, separation with Steve debacle. I thought she was my friend 4 to 5 years ago. I thought this bitch was my friend. But then she just kept quiet when Steve was, attacking me and saying that I fucking, committed fraud, chargeback fraud. This bitch was nowhere to be found to call out Steve. Fuck you, Claire. And I'm going to skin every stream apart. I will just skin it apart and show people how full of shit you are. And here we are. All right.
A lot on triggered emotions and this and that. It's like feeling humiliated, feeling insulted, the lack of respect, being made to feel small, not just anger. Like people use these things, and then
citation
when you get angry, things start happening. Chemical balances. Maya is absolutely correct.
She just picks shit up, whatever her audience tells her, and just repeats it and just say, oh yeah, this happens, without doing any research, not providing any citations, nothing. Just saying. Okay, let's finish
that
this.
Actually affect whether you are thinking clearly or not.
Mhm.
The person that stays calm usually just appears more confident. Absolutely. So it's the perception of they've got the power. They have the power right now. The perception that they must be right. Look how calm they are. They're not even reacting. Like there's nothing. It's a nothing burger. Even if the other person does have valid criticism.
Chesh from the live chat said she didn't keep quiet. She actively undermined the other mods trying to talk to Steve. She actively enabled him and his mod to try and abuse me. Yeah. And then she assisted Steve's slander campaign with Aaron. Yep. Yeah, these are all the reasons that I'm not cool with this bitch at all. And I'm tired of people treating her with, glove hands. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen. Yeah, doing nothing would have been better. You're right.
Or a valid statement, or has been wronged in some way, by acting with anger out like that, it diminishes it.
Does it?
Here's the interesting thing. They don't actually need to be calm. You could be you don't actually need to be calm.
Yeah, she's trying to copy other philosophy channels. That's what she's trying to do.
All you need to do is actually just maintain an appearance of calmness, and generally it works itself out, because just by physically trying to keep your composure, you will always, I shouldn't say always, I know, but everyone understands. Generally, you will at least come out.
Again, Mote and Bailey makes a broad claim, retreats to a more defensible one, but keeps the impact of the broader claim.
Out on top most of the time. It is when your feelings take control of your actions as well that things will fall apart. You could be blindly furious, but if you keep at least an outward composure of calmness,
Okay,
you'll move much more rationally. I don't think, let's see, no, I don't think I've ever seen someone who outwardly appears flustered or completely angry or furious ever come off as rational or calm.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, I shouldn't say calm, rational or making sense. But I've seen plenty of people who are absolutely furious but very calm come across as rational and making sense.
I thought I heard something outside. Okay, nothing. Moving on. So McCracker says one person need not actually be calm. Maintaining appearance is enough. He says outwardly composed, furious people can appear rational, while visibly flustered people do not. And so now this is no longer advice about emotional regulation. This is about impression management. No, that's what it's going into. You do not need to be calm. You only need to look calm. This proves that outward signal can be decoupled from the internal state. Therefore, the signal cannot reliably establish rationality. A person can be seething, deceptive, vindicative, or irrational while speaking slowly. Another can be shaking, crying, stammering, or angry while giving accurate evidence. It happens in court. When witnesses who are in distress, they're giving true evidence and true testimony. Like, we shouldn't believe them? What? And then there are people who come across as distressed, but they're lying. This line that, quote unquote, I've never seen someone outwardly flustered come across as rational, unquote, it tells us about McCracker's perception, not about the speaker's reasoning. It is a biased report. That's what it is. There are also equity implications. Visible composure is affected by disability, neurodivergence, trauma, language proficiency, cultural communication norms, pain, fear, and power imbalance. A standard that rewards polished calm can systematically discount people who experience or express stress differently. the discussion around the the chemicals and stuff, there's a kernel of truth. High arousal can affect cognition, but it does not justify treating visible arousal as proof that a claim, quote unquote, doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is the worst shit. This is so simplistic and so shallow. Like, and if I'm not wrong, it was Athens or EMP who said yesterday, superficial. Hollow, shallow, superficial. No understanding, no efforts being made into understanding at all. Emotion regulation research shows that expressive suppression can reduce visible expression while increasing physiological activation, whereas reappraisal changes the emotional response more deeply. Outward calm does not guarantee internal calm or sound reasoning. And here is my citation for that. There we go. That's my citation. So, errors and fallacies. Masking confused with regulation. Merely looking calm is treated as equivalent to processing emotion and thinking clearly, even though outward suppression can conceal continuing dysregulation. Observer bias elevated into fact. What an audience is likely to perceive is treated as though it establishes what actually happened. Argument from personal incredulity. McCracker substitutes "I cannot imagine that" for evidence showing that the disputed possibility did occur. Potential ableist and cultural bias in credibility assessment. Expectations about flat effect, eye contact, or emotional display can disadvantage neurodivergent people and people from different cultural backgrounds. Just because you look regulated does not necessarily mean that you're being regulated. Your tampons hold more water than this treasure. Oh god, this is funny. This is so funny. Good one, Chesh. Good one. All right.
Number 2 is you.
Number 2. Does a public overreaction reveal someone's true character?
Yeah, they should open a thesaurus, but I guess that's too much work for them.
Or only who they were in a highly.
What are you trying to read, dude? Hold on. Yeah, this is what he's reading. Point 2. Does a public overreaction reveal someone's true character or only who they were in a highly dysregulated moment? That's what he's trying to read. Okay. What are you going to say about it?
Dysregulated moment.
It could be. That could be both. But I would say it leans more to the moment if we think about it like with Grace. I think I would look at it as like that's their reaction right now. However, if it happens more than once, that's a pattern, and I would say that attests to character. What do you think?
Oh yeah, let's forget what the situation is and the context might be. Okay. All right.
I would agree. I would say that if you could probably say that it would speak to someone's character if it was a first impression, or if it was like a if you didn't know the person very well, and it's a perfectly fair assumption to make if it happens to be the first impression of the person.
A public overreaction, you mean like Claire? Yeah. Or you mean like McGregor, when he came in my comment section and hurled the vitriol at me and told me I should be ashamed of my degree and a blah, 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 and then went off? Yeah, you could say that. Maybe.
But at a intellectual level, it is very much just a who they are at a highly dysregulated moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question is why they're overreacting. Why aren't you considering the context of the whole situation? What is wrong with you? Why are you so simplistic? I don't get it. Even like regular people know that one should always look into context and look into the whole, what's going on in a situation overall before judging someone. Yeah, Chesh, you're right. The answer is you have no idea if it's just the first time you have seen them do this. It's unfair if you don't take into context of if you see someone first time losing their cool or being angry, and it's your first time meeting them, you don't take into account what the whole context of the situation was. You're being an idiot. The intellectual level. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
that's all Claire has to respond
for me,
with.
yeah. Like I think, like you did, it's a dysregulated moment at the time. But if it happens more than once, if it comes calm, and if there's a pattern there, that's definitely leads to character. They're a hot one.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Which is more powerful online? A carefully evidenced response.
So Claire at first says that, yeah, one incident is more about the moment, but repeated conduct can indicate character. McGregor says judging character from a first impression is a perfectly fair assumption, then concedes to intellectually it may only reflect a dysregulated moment. Claire's distinction between a single event and a repeated pattern is a careful answer. Even then, quote-unquote, character is a very broad moral label. Repeated outbursts may indicate a stable communication pattern, unmanaged stress, an unsafe environment, illness, substance use, learned behavior, or a particular relational dynamic, or whatever is going on in the situation in that point of time. Describe the observable pattern and its impact before pretending to know the person's essence. McGregor's claim that a character judgment is quote-unquote perfectly fair because it is a first impression is backwards, actually. First impressions are often understandable, but that does not make them fair or accurate. He then goes on to admit that at an intellectual level, quote-unquote, the event may only show a highly dysregulated moment. That is a responsible standard. Use provisional judgments for immediate safety if necessary, but update them with context and evidence. Context and evidence are always important. But these two seem to just throw them out the window for some reason every time. In incident investigation, we do not stop at the operator panicked, therefore bad character. We examine the task, design, controls, fatigue, supervision, training, equipment, production pressure, and latent conditions. Interpersonal analysis deserves the same discipline. So, the errors, fallacies, and qualifications here. Fundamental attribution error. A situational reaction is interpreted as a proof of a stable trait or motive while context is discounted. First impression bias. An initial display is given disproportionate weight over later evidence or latter evidence and the broader pattern of conduct. Trait essentialism. One incident is treated as revealing a fixed essence of the person rather than conduct that they may have multiple causes. Partial correction by Claire. Claire introduces a necessary qualification, but the conversation does not consistently revise the earlier generalization. one should always describe the pattern and the context and the evidence around that pattern before judging the person. Moving on. So they're reading the next one.
I mean, if there's a pattern there, that's definitely leads to character. They're a hot one. But, yeah. Which is more powerful online, a carefully evidenced response or a highly emotional one, and why?
I think always it's going to be a carefully evidenced response, or
they're trying to create a false dichotomy here. That's what they're trying to do.
I wouldn't even say it would need to be carefully evidenced. It just needs to be a careful, level-headed response. Because level-headed response is always going to come across more clearly than a highly emotional one.
Well, true, but it depends on the type of highly emotional we're talking about. Because
Good
people
point.
that are passionate, and that's why I say the always and the never words. Like, there's always the exceptions. There's always the outliner. There's always the other small group. And it's also about perception here, because like if we're talking about whether somebody passionate and highly emotional in a subject,
Sorry?
That could be very...
What are you trying to say?
Very, very powerful. That can move people. That can get people to respond passionately, especially if we're talking about things that people resonate to right away, like, wrongful convictions, mothers grieving lost sons, in a tragedy, or daughters, I don't mean to pick one or the other, you know what I mean, just loss in general. Speaking with passion and emotion to an audience on a subject that hits them can be extremely powerful and move them to a direction that you want them.
Yeah, say you're a snowflake without telling me you're a snowflake. Yeah, poor babies. Yeah, they're fragile. They're so fragile.
It's not always anger. It's not always the outburst. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
To say something is strongly emotional or highly emotional, it can be effective, but for that reason. But like you said, if it's anger, like just stomping and yelling.
So one should look into what the substance of what they're saying actually? Is that what you're trying to say? How is it that suddenly now, when someone is saying something passionately and the audience might take them for their word, now it matters what the substance is, not if the person is calm. That should always be that's always audience is supposed to be accepting that as the as someone who has won the debate or someone who's made a point or drove a point home. They treat anger as with so much like a magnifying glass, but calmness is treated as like yeah, always right, always the winning hand.
Yeah, that does have impact. You can incite the crowd and everything, but I don't think it's long term. I think it's temporary, and you have to keep doing it to keep it going, so
you have to amp it up.
You have to keep amping it up, and it becomes monotonous, so it becomes less effective, Whereas a carefully evidenced response that hits people, if they understand the evidence, if it clicks with them, it's extremely, extremely effective, But it has to actually resonate with them and hit them, because unfortunately in what I see today online, if you can't get their attention within a minute or two and prove it, that you lose them.
That's what matters to you. That's what matters to you. Attention. That's all you care about. You don't care about the facts or evidence. That's what matters to you. That kind of tells me about you. Okay. At least we know Claire's motivations, right? Yeah, they're trying. Chesh, you're right. They're treating anger as an excuse to just dismiss anything that they don't like.
more often going to respond to the emotion, the quick one, the quick response, than they are to the carefully evidenced one, because that one takes time. That one takes like leading you down the road to the
That's quite evident with this bullshit that you've put up.
conclusion, right?
Hmm.
I mean, am I wrong? I mean, I could be wrong here. It's just my perception of it, But I think this question itself is a double-edged sword. That's what I'm going with.
I think a lot of people will. I think to at the start, a lot more people will at least initially respond to a highly emotional one, a highly emotional response. But in the long term, it is generally the carefully evidence-based response that wins out. I guess it depends on what the situation is.
Oh,
is
now
calling
context
for.
matters?
Are you calling to rally the troops? Then an emotional.
Again, the context is so shallow. Again, they're not even going deep into the context either. It's such superficial and shallow. It's about the motivation. It's not about the actual context of what's going on.
Response is going to work the best, or are you calling to
Yeah, how dare people talk about what they care about, right? And passionately.
provide
Yeah, it's beginning to sound right, like Aaron, right? EMP, you're so right.
clarity on a subject, then a carefully evidenced one is always going to succeed better.
Right.
She's not even listening to him. She's not. She's just going,
Okay.
right?
No.
So, McGregor goes on to say, he's initially saying that a careful, level-headed response is always more powerful. Again, in absolutes. Right? Somehow now the context matters. My coffee. Then Claire points out that the passionate, emotional speech can mobilize people, including around wrongful convictions and grief. That's what I said right at the beginning. That anger can get you concessions and can get you results if channeled properly. So McGregor and Claire then they settle on emotion for rallying and evidence for clarity or long-term persuasion. This is, I would give it to them. This is the most nuanced discussions because Claire immediately disrupts another always. Emotional and evidentiary communication are not opposites. Strong advocacy often combines accurate evidence with morally appropriate emotion. A grieving parent need not sound detached to be credible, as I've said in courtroom testimonies. And a carefully sourced report need not be emotionally empty. The relevant questions that we should be asking are, is the claim accurate? Is the emotion authentic or proportionate? Does the presentation clarify or obscure the evidence? What is the communication goal? Attention, understanding, deliberation, solidarity, or action? Their claim that evidence, quote, wins in the long term, unquote, is aspirational, not guaranteed. Falsehood can persist through repetition. We have seen them do that again and again in this stream. And then falsehood can also persist through identity, motivated reasoning, and network effects. Silence and time do not automatically reward the better supported side. Again, always context matters, Claire, McGregor, and for some reason, and this whole thing just undermined the whole thing at the start of like, don't give away your power. From the start, that's what they have been saying. Research on social networks has found that moral emotional language is associated with greater diffusion, and a 2024 science study found that outrage facilitates misinformation sharing. that demonstrates reach, not truth or durable persuasion. And this is my reference. There we go. This one and then another one. Sorry. What's going on? Here we go. So it can go both ways, in my opinion. Yeah, they think being earnest is bad. You're right. So, moving on. Hold on, let me see if I can put it in the live chat properly. That one didn't work. Here we go. So, errors, fallacy, and qualifications. Initial false dichotomy corrected into a contextual model. The discussion improves when it abandons emotion or evidence and accepts that effective communication can combine emotion, accuracy, and context. Which is like, now they're realizing that that's what matters for some reason in this particular point. But throughout the stream, they don't give a shit about it. I don't know why. It's like they don't realize, and they don't correct it at all. They said, oh yeah, previously we said that, but I think so this is what we should aim for. They don't do that at all. It's just they stay in the moment and then they just move on to the next moment. It's so detached and isolated. It's like they don't think at all. And then unsupported optimism. Evidence necessarily wins long term. Possible generalization beyond studied platforms or topics. Research on particular platforms and content types is extended to online communication generally without establishing that the effect is universal. But they don't provide any citation also, so I'll just go with this also. Citation needed. Emotion can carry both evidence or nonsense, depending on where it's being used, how it's being utilized, context, situation. It matters. It's not that surface level and shallow and simplistic. They just make it so simplistic when it's not. Oh, any listening to Candace Owens will make your cells declare mutiny. Oh, yeah, it's not easy listening to her. No. Okay, moving back. So we're gonna start with this one. Here we go.
Now, can refusing to respond be strength, or can silence sometimes allow a false narrative to harden?
I would immediately say both. I actually think it's harder not to respond. I think that takes strength. It takes taking the pause and thinking about it. It's much harder. It's very hard to let people be out there challenging something on you or making accusations, doing things in anger or maliciously, and you don't respond. It is difficult not to, even though most people would counsel someone not to respond in those situations.
Claire is trying to say that that's the only thing that happens when you're silent. That's what she's trying to say. But that's not it is. The other side might be right. They might not be malicious. They might be actually saying the truth about you, and you take the coward's way to stay silent. I'm just saying.
I think that takes strength. But also, by being quiet, you do allow them to keep saying whatever they're going to say. And there's going to be a certain element that is going to just take them at their word. What you do hope is that people that actually think about it or will come and ask you directly.
So you're not going to make any efforts. People should come to you. And if people don't come to you, then what? And again, It's not about whether the other, she's just putting that if anyone's opposing her and if she's not saying anything, the other side definitely is malicious and is lying about her. That's what she's trying to put in here as, which is not always true. She can stay silent and the other side might be right, correct. This is very telling of Claire, what she's trying to establish here.
Or look at how you move through things, look at your actual actions instead of the words.
Should we examine your actions or inactions, Claire? We can do that. Since you are so, keen on people doing that. Your inaction when Steve was going around and, talking bullshit about me and Chesh. He accused me of crimes. He accused Chesh of blackmailing him. You said nothing. You kept quiet. You manipulated Chesh into getting a mediator that favored Steve. Oh, she knows what to do. She's a coward. She stays quiet.
That other people are saying. And I stress this a lot. Like, words can be manipulations. Words are not facts. Words are not anything.
But you just said that if you're angry, doesn't matter. If you're angry, then you lose. Yeah, it's funny how she has like not 100k subs anymore, Chesh. It's 121k subs. And she gets zero pushback on topics that are usually pretty polarizing. Yeah, nothing. If I'm not sitting here and giving her pushback, she has no pushback. Not even from a co-host. They're just like sitting in an echo chamber. That's all they're doing. Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Like that. They're usually manipulations, they're usually accusations, and they're claims.
They're usually manipulations, they're usually accusations, they're usually claims, as if that's the only option available. If she is quiet, she's trying to establish it backwards, right? She's trying to say, if I am silent, that means the other side is trying to manipulate. They're lying and they're being unreasonable. When that's not true necessarily. If she's silent, it's possible that she knows she's in the wrong and she has no comeback, so she's keeping quiet. And the other side actually might have, facts and might actually be, not manipulative and actually pointing out her manipulations. Publicly remain silent while behind the scenes stirring the fuck out of that boiling pot. Exactly. That context is totally thrown away as if that doesn't exist. Yeah, Claire? Oh, and echo chamber assumes there are people responding at all. Sure, but if two people like McCracker and Claire, they're sitting and talking to each other, that's also an echo chamber, isn't it? And just like saying yes to each other. Oh yeah, I agree with you. That's also kind of an echo chamber. They're talking to each other. Okay, too technical, I guess. So, yeah, it's funny how she's trying to create this, this image, so that if anyone like me comes out and says, "You bitch," she's like, "Oh yeah, they're manipulative." Why? Because she's choosing to stay quiet, as if her actions are the evidence of whether what claims I'm making are true or not. When it doesn't work like that. Fuck you, Claire, you are full of shit. And we know that. Stop trying to manipulate people around you with your silence. Yeah, she doesn't honestly engage at all. And she's telling her audience also that it's better not to honestly engage. This is what this whole thing is. Manipulate people around you. And she's surprised that other people might do this, might do the same. Oh, really? Claire, fuck you. The point is that in the end, what I'm trying to say is, She's trying to tell her audience that if she's quiet, that automatically means that the other side is manipulative and is lying, and doesn't have a good reason to be vociferous about her. And that's not how it works. That is such a cheap, what do you say? Not cheap, that's such a, what's the word? Cheap? No, not cheap. That's such a slimy thing to do, if I might say. Slimy, yes, slimy.
Statements. Words are statements, not facts.
Mhm.
Right?
Words are not what are statements, not facts, right? So you have to examine the facts of the situation. Like you did, you manipulated Chesh to accepting the mediator that was favorable to Steve. You lied to her, and then you were undermining all the other mods who were questioning Steve's behavior in the mod call. People can go and watch that. And then you decided to go with Erin and dish on Chesh on her channel when the split between her and Steve happened. And then you decided to let Steve go around and talk bullshit about me, accusing me of that I committed crimes. All the while, I thought at that time that you were my friend. We're not friends anymore. Definitely not friends anymore. But yeah, so the facts of facts matter, right? Facts of the situation matter. Facts of the statement matter. Such a dirty, cheap shot, dude. Seriously. Yeah, as if this isn't her directly addressing it and therefore not staying silent. Yeah. Yeah, Rose, that's a very good point. Subliminals and sneak disses for days and days and days and not remaining silent. It's dirty. Yeah, it's dirty. It's taking cheap shots. Yeah, Chesh was calm in the mod call. But Claire was going around when I was talking and everyone else was talking to Steve. She was undermining everyone there. So yeah, go try this manipulation with someone else, Claire. It's quite evident we are not going to fall for it. I really hope your audience also doesn't fall for it.
What actions?
Yes.
If you have any audience, I don't believe that you have so many followers or subscribers. I don't believe you. Because why isn't your live chat active? I don't get it.
Actions lean more towards facts, something tangible that you can actually,
Sure.
you can actually, what do they say, hang your hat on?
Action,
You know,
and an action, actually.
something that you can see a pattern on. You know, you see how somebody moves
Yeah, we saw your pattern. I just described a pattern of your actions and inactions with facts.
through. So even though I would tend to not respond, I would tend to try to refuse to actually answer nonsense,
So yeah, so automatically she's labeling that if she's staying silent about something, it's nonsense. See how she's creating this, this false illusion, prepping her audience like, listen guys, if I'm silent about something, it's nonsense. You don't need to go and check it out. It's not the truth. That's why I'm not responding. You fucking cunt.
credible
This
accusations. I don't feel the need to defend myself against accusations that aren't true.
That's not how it works, Claire. Just because you didn't respond to something doesn't automatically make it untrue. Just saying. That's not how it works. Again, context matters. And that's what this stream has been about. This whole stream. Trying to just toss the context out of the window. That's all this exercise has been with McGregor, between you and McGregor, in this stream. That context doesn't matter. Evidence doesn't matter. Facts don't matter. Only what the optics are, what the perception is matters. That's all it is. And now you're trying to set up a perception here. I would say it's an illusion, to describe it more accurately. Here's the coup de grace, not the coup de grace, this is the final thing that she's trying to achieve through a stream today. How do you not respond and call out your friends? Exactly. No, she's setting up a narrative chair. She's saying that if I don't respond to something, it's nonsense. It automatically makes it nonsense. Don't go investigate it. Don't look into the context or the facts of the matter that I'm not responding to, because it's not worth it. It's probably lies. And it's probably untrue. That's what she's trying to establish. That a silence provides credibility or uncredibility to something that is being spoken about her. That's what she's trying to do. Yeah, manipulation in 5K. Yeah, and Chesh, you're right. Great. So how is anyone else supposed to tell what is true and what isn't? Right? Yeah, basically a class on how to be fake. Exactly, EMP. That's what this is. This is actually a confession from Claire that what she does actually in real life, online especially. This is what it is, a confession from her. Psych, gotcha. Trust me, bro. Yeah.
But how we very
But I don't want to reduce it to just trust me, bro. Because it's very easy to then just forget. You know what I mean? It's a good way to, if you want to like describe it in one phrase. What I'm trying to do is trying to show people how more deeper it is, how more profound it is, what the whole web of manipulation here is from Claire. It's a whole big web of manipulation from her, psychological, if I might dare say, and perception-wise, and she's trying to create an illusion of credibility here. If she doesn't respond to something, it's not credible. If she responds to, then it's credible. So I guess if she's responding to me by her own logic, it's credible. What I'm saying and what I'm talking about her is credible, according to her standards. Hey Claire, was T swatted? Mind answering that question? Yeah, Tish, you're right. Oh, well, she's responding to money here, so I guess it's not nonsense. Yeah.
If I have made a mistake, if I do feel that there's something that needs to be clarified, of course I would do it.
Yeah, it's based on your feelings whether you made a mistake or not based on evidence or context at all. Evidence doesn't matter to you. It is based on your feelings. Oh, if I've made a mistake, if I do feel something, there needs to be clarified. It's all about your feelings, Claire. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. Fuck your feelings, Claire.
But not just because somebody has decided to get my goat, get under my skin, try to rile me. I will say.
So I got under your skin? Is that what it is?
It does take a certain amount of strength. It's not an easy thing.
Absolutely.
To let people just.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing being a coward. Yeah, sure, Claire.
Carry on like that,
Actually, there's been a recent situation that actually has shown the power of.
Okay, so now getting into the more technical stuff, right? Claire says silence can be strength, but it can also let a false narrative harden. Then she says words are not facts, words are not anything, and are usually manipulation. Actions lean more towards fact, which is stupid as fuck. Silence can be strategic, yeah, that's fine, and silence can leave misinformation uncontested. But she's trying to set up a situation where that's all it can happen in her case. And then the argument collapses into anti-language nonsense. Words can be factual statements, false statements, testimony, admissions, threats, contracts, instructions, promises, measurements, evidence when authenticated and contextualized. Like in my case, when I did it right here, when I'm saying that, Claire is full of shit. Why? I contextualized, I provided context to it with a past behavior. Words are statements, not facts, confuses a proposition with the reality it describes. Words can report a fact, you fucking asshole. And an action can also mislead. Staged behavior, selective performance, and deception, omissions are actions like you did here that you staying silent will only give rise to, misinformation about you. Not that maybe you staying silent might be that people who are talking the truth about you have a bloody point. An action speak louder is a heuristic for comparing repeated behavior with unsupported promises. It is not an epistemology, and I know this whole thing just went right over your head, Claire. I'm quite sure of that. So how does this apply to a court coverage? What is the testimony then? Bitch just threw out all the social studies low. Yeah, she did. She just fucking... So the errors and fallacies and qualifications. Category error. Different kinds of things such as word, facts, actions, evidence, or motives are treated as though they belong to one interchangeable category. Self-serving rule. Silence is framed as strength when convenient. Self-serving. She's trying to create a self-serving narrative here about her silence. Overgeneralization. Words are usually manipulations. Yeah, she can stay silent, no one would notice, yeah. Words can report facts and actions can still perform lies. Claire, you fucking idiot. I'm just gonna straight up call her idiot because this is what it is now. This is just like so stupid. So stupid. It's not even superficial anymore. It's just stupid. God.
Of actually not responding. If anyone knows much about the streaming world out there, there was a situation with a streamer called Saikuno, and he's a dirty dog, and people made a whole bunch of accusations about him, and a lot of them were actually true. However, he didn't respond, and somehow he came out on top. He won. He straight up just was like, yep, didn't respond, and still won, even though he was the person in the wrong. He didn't do anything illegal. It was more just a morally...
It was a moral issue. Basically, he cheated on his long-time living girlfriend.
Yes.
Regularly.
Yes. And
yes.
He still somehow came out looking like the good guy to an extent.
He took some level of accountability, said he was wrong, but he didn't do it right away.
And this is so vaguely specific. Can you please specify what actually it was? Was it about cheating with his girlfriend? I don't think so. That's not what the issue was.
Oh, he didn't.
He waited. And when he waited, the internet did what the internet does. Whoever counseled him had a very good perception of what happens out here. Because even though there were things against him that were absolutely true and he couldn't deny, whoever counseled him, or even himself, just knew that there was going to be a certain element that blew things out of proportion, that made it such a big deal that everybody was going to tag on it. They were going to twist every little thing to be a bigger thing and to make it much more than it actually was, and get it all convoluted and just blow it to the top, right to the top, to where it was absolute ridiculousness and people didn't care anymore. That the actual people pushing the narrative, when you actually read all their stories, there were people that were out there doing it for agenda. That the actual people he actually cheated with and the actual girlfriend had less of an issue than the people that were pushing the agenda.
Stop speaking. Can you stop speaking for other people? Claire, can you stop?
And so everything kind of fell apart, and he just let that all play out. And when that was all done, and the people making the biggest noise about it were laid to rest by other people online for what their agenda was, then he came out, took accountability, said he had left the internet. The reason he didn't respond is because he was working on what he...
Yeah, don't deny it. He just didn't stay silent though. And I'll talk about it. They're treating it as a delayed response is silence.
his priority was. And that
Or like delayed response is not addressing the situation at all. That's what your first thing was when you started talking about all this.
was going to counseling with his girlfriend and making things right in his home life. Which if you want to hear something from somebody who's been accused of doing all this, that's what I want to hear. That was their priority and not what their reputation was out here. Like, it made him a little
So
bit...
now it's not about perception and reputation? Now it's not? But the whole thing was, since you started, was about perception and reputation management. Or you didn't realize that that's what you were doing before? That's why I keep saying that these people think just because they speak English, anything that comes out of their mouth makes sense.
bit more credible. I don't condone anything that he did, but
absolutely not.
it is a lesson in taking that pause. It's absolutely. I'm
Tia
glad you
Rose,
brought it
thank you
up
for coming
because
by. Take
it
care.
is a good example of
do nothing and win. Just,
even when you're wrong, like even when you're guilty
Even
of
when
all
you're
of it.
wrong?
Like, because he was guilty of everything that they said. It was just how certain people did it and why they did it and approached it. Because the people that were pushing it the most, he never even cheated with.
Nope.
No. We're talking about the Sakuno. Yeah.
This is weird. Like to say that people, like who were criticizing him, the criticism somehow doesn't matter because they weren't cheated on by Saikuno. What the fuck was that? What? Huh? What the fuck was that? Okay, so McGregor said that Saikuno did not respond and somehow won, despite being wrong. And Claire then says he waited, the internet overreached, and he took accountability and focused on repairing his relationship. Which one was it? Can you both decide? They conclude, and then they both concluded, do nothing and win even when you're wrong. Like, that's not what happened in Saikuno's case. He did respond, and he did take accountability. He didn't stay silent. Yeah, this is dumb, Chesh. This is so dumb. Like, they just say things and so dumb. You know what? Before I unravel this, I need a break. I need to take a break. We need to take a break, and I'll be back. This is so stupid. This is absolutely stupid. Let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back to this, and I'll just, like, fucking skim through it. Like, what the fuck, man? Okay. All right. Break time. I is back. Give me one more second. I need a snack. Like Chesh, I have also started eating in disrespect. Save the last piece. So the players fight over it. Ooh, that's... Alright. God, this nonsense makes me hungry. You went to a new place. Nice. Okay, so let's try and fucking. So the whole example that they presented of Saikono, it's so factually distorted, like in the timeline itself. Saikono did not simply do nothing. He didn't just not respond. After more than a week of silence, he actually released a joint statement admitting the central conduct. He had been unfaithful and he had told people he was single while in a relationship. He apologized and announced a break. He later returned to streaming after nearly 2 months and again discussed regret in repairing the relationship. So the actual sequence is delay, public admission, apology, break, and then return. Whether that counts as winning is entirely subjective. Preserving an audience, relationship, or career does not erase the conduct. So Claire's point that someone online claims or labels may have exceeded what was substantiated can coexist with the admission. But the alleged bad motives of critics do not acquit the confessed behavior. That move is a red herring and often is a two-quirk. Look how badly the accusers behaved, therefore the original wrong somehow shrinks. Her claim that the girlfriend or other involved women had quote-unquote less of an issue than the agenda-driven outsiders also needs evidence and risks speaking for people whose private harm she cannot measure. She doesn't know how much the girlfriend, suffered through this. Strategic silence for some time may have prevented a chaotic immediate response. The responsible lesson is to take time, verify, then address substantiated conduct accurately. It is not do nothing and win. So the errors and fallacies over here being conducted they're doing are false factual summary. The public record is reduced to a version that omits or reverses material facts. Outcome framing. Audience survival becomes victory. Red herring and two-quirk. Attention is shifted from the original conduct to alleged hypocrisy, or worse, behavior by someone else. Mind-reading critics' agenda. Critics are assigned a hidden purpose or malicious plan instead of having their actual claims examined. Speaking for affected parties. The speaker's claims, Claire especially, claims to know how another person or a group of interpreted the conduct without evidence from those people. Minimization through comparison with worse allegations. The conduct is made to seem insignificant by contrasting it with something more extreme rather than assessing it on its own merits. So he just didn't say silent. He did respond, and he did admit, and he apologized, and then he went on a break. That's what the actual sequence is. They don't even have their facts right. Yeah, Chesh, so when she does nothing, it's a winning move. When someone else does it, it's bad. Moving on.
Making the decision to get involved in indirect drama becomes muddier as a streamer. You want to keep your personal moral system, but may have a responsibility to your community to speak out. Absolutely. But you should always, when you speak out, you should always make sure every word that you use is measured. And measured appropriately. That's the hardest thing. Especially if you take streamers, for instance, because a lot of what they do is on the fly. It is in the moment. Like, streamers will misspeak. I misspeak. Claire misspeaks. Everybody misspeaks, and especially when you're doing hours upon hours upon hours of streaming. Everyone has probably said something stupid that they haven't meant entirely. But it's about, you know, when you do take the time to make a point to speak about, to like put the time aside, for instance, in Saikuno's case, to actually take the time to collect what he needed to collect his thoughts and stuff, and put that out in a less spontaneous manner. That's when it matters the most, especially outside of streaming. In the spontaneity of streaming, you could intend to say something but say something else. I put more importance in what someone says when they've actually put it together in a measured sense, as opposed to in a spontaneous sense.
No, you don't. You came to my live stream, you attacked me, you attacked my credentials, and you attacked me personally instead of looking at my response. No, you don't do that. You don't practice what you preach. You're lying, McRicker. Or maybe it depends on if you like the person or not. I guess. You're not putting in that you have a bias.
I personally try to take the intention or the meaning, the intended good faith meaning behind what is being said, as opposed to the instantaneous interpretation of what might be inferred.
Nah, he can't give any specific examples, Chesh. He can only give general. Oh yeah, that one time it did. I have seen this happen generally, but you can't give you specific examples, guys. That's what his thing is.
Bias is making the decision to get involved in indirect drama becomes muddlier as a streamer. Yes, it does. You want to keep your personal moral system, but may have a responsibility to the community to speak out. I get that, and I guess it's situational. I mean, I guess it depends on the community and whether or not.
So it depends on the attention you're getting. That's what you care about. Why don't you curate your community according to your personal standards? I don't get it. Curate your community according to your personal standards. Just saying.
People are going to people directly, but I hear the valid point. It does get muddier, especially, I feel that currently, like, as I grow, what needs to be addressed and what doesn't, and sometimes, depending on the level of streamer you are, and
she means depends on the number of subscribers someone has. That's what she means by level, right? Or else why wouldn't she address what I have said about her? And refuse to address it, actually, and say she's not going to address it. Because we don't have enough subscribers, Chesh, to be on her level, her 121k subscribers. That's why.
the people involved. Sometimes you can't get involved either because you may be a larger channel, or you may look like, taking one side or the other.
Yeah, exactly, Chesh. It's her community. She curated it. Why would you create a community that's not based on your personal standards? So you'll just chuck your personal standards in a bin just so that you can keep a community online. Okay. Then you don't have then your personal standards don't matter, I guess. What's the point of having personal standards? It's a paradox that you have created for yourself. And it's your fault.
Could be detrimental unfairly, so to speak, based
unfairly?
on the size of the community. all of these things, are situational in all of
She won't give an example, guys. She'll just say generic shit.
the elements of the situation need to be taken into consideration. So I guess my answer to it is that it's not one size fits all. And it's complex, and I agree. With your statement about it getting muddier, and I agree that being on a platform, having a platform, any platform, does make it muddier. It really does.
How?
Believe me, I
How?
get that. I live it. Been out
You
here
live
for a
it.
while, just like you have, Maya, and several of you in the chat. Like we've all been there.
Yeah, because your numbers are not high enough, Chesh. Exactly. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. I should say I do.
All right. So we will unravel this whole thing where she has made several hidden confessions and admissions about herself, hasn't she? McCracker is saying that streamers must speak during long spontaneous broadcasts, and that prepared statements should be weighed more heavily. Except he didn't consider mine for some reason. Oh, because he doesn't like me, because I'm being critical of him and Claire. I guess that's why. He prefers good faith intended meaning over instantaneous interpretation. So, what do you mean by good faith? That's my question. What's good faith for you? And why does it matter to you that it's good faith? Criticism is criticism. Valid criticism and arguments are, valid criticism and arguments. Yeah, so quantity over quality for that lady, huh? Yeah, that's what matters to Claire. That's all that matters to her. Yeah, that's why she freaked out, because you mentioned that there was something related to her you wanted to talk about. That's why she freaked out, I guess. Yeah, you don't algorithm chase, or no, you're not chasing court cases or content, or you're not stealing content. You have standards, Chesh? Oh, really? Oh my god. So whatever they have said over what McCracker is saying, that it's broadly reasonable, broadly to say, but there are guardrails here. Long form live speech will contain verbal errors, unfinished thoughts, and clumsy phrasing. Yeah, that's fine. A fair critic will distinguish between obvious slip, ambiguous statement, corrected statement, repeated position, prepared claim, conduct consistent with the claim. Intent matters. It does not erase the impact or make every charitable interpretation mandatory. I did not mean it that way is evidence about intent, not a veto over how the words reasonably functioned or impacted someone. Prepared statements deserve in attention because they are less likely to be accidental. That's fine. But preparation can also optimize evasion. The best test always is specificity and consistency with known facts, acceptance of responsibility, repair, and lateral conduct. Evidence and facts. And ironically, that's what I'm doing. I'm not using their pronunciation errors or transcript glitches as evidence against them. I'm focusing on repeated endorsed claims. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, not all criticism has to be constructive. No. That's not the critic's job. That's your job, how you take it and how you build on it, on the criticism, how you react to the criticism. So, errors, fallacy, and qualifications here. It's sound interpretive charity, but considering prepared and spontaneous speech together, that's fair, provided intended meaning does not erase foreseeable impact or factual error. Risk of intent fallacy, intended meaning treated as overriding effect. Risk of prepared statement halo. A polished statement may appear responsible because it is controlled, although preparation does not guarantee accuracy, sincerity, or accountability. Context and evidence always matter. Always. Whether unprepared or prepared.
I do agree to an extent, but I guess personally, I'm not one who believes in the idea that you shouldn't defend yourself from someone punching up. I guess I don't believe in the idea of it's bad punching down if the person is coming at you.
Well, to me, it's situational because
But yeah, it is,
I
once
also
again,
How?
it's situational.
I also have been educated by yourself, even very many times, not to throw you under the bus here, that
No,
that's
throw
going
me,
to
throw me.
happen. Well, that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
People that don't have the same size community, they are going to punch up because it's part of what happens out here, and it's part of what has to be accepted. So you have to make a decision when you respond and when you don't. Like, when do you give them the traction and when you don't? What the issue?
Yeah, because someone has a smaller community, you don't, they don't have valid points, do they? Okay.
is. Like, and I get it. Like,
You don't get it.
And so for
You
me,
don't.
I balance out what the issue really is for me. Okay. And
Yeah, all that matters is what is it matters to you, what your feelings are, how it looks to you. You don't care about the truth or the facts or the evidence. You don't.
period.
It's quite evident.
Like, I feel a responsibility to me first. If my decision isn't damaging that community at all, then okay. It's not my intent to harm any side of it. So to speak.
Again, intent may matter, but after the impact doesn't matter. What impact you have made matters. That's what matters in the end. Yes, I'm trying to type nice and it doesn't let me type nice. Nice, sorry. It just automatically corrects it. Ah! I don't know why it's doing that. Ah! Nice, you cleaned your streaming room. Huzzah.
Speak. You're not going to try to damage the community in any way. Okay. Well, I do not. Like, I know myself really well. I don't have superpowers. Sometimes I feel weighing in isn't going to solve anything. Then why do it? Like, why jeopardize my peace of mind, my mental health, my peace?
Sure.
If it's
Exactly.
not going, I'm not superhuman. I know myself.
You're not superhuman, but if you've caused harm, doesn't matter what impact. I think so. If you've caused harm, you should respond. That's the ethics of it. But we know you don't care about the ethics. You all care. You just care about yourself. You're a selfish person. I get it. And you think your channel size gives you that power to be selfish and harm others and just go get away with it. We get it. I think so. We'll move on from this one because it's all her confessing everything.
Really well. Okay, I know what I can and cannot do. And in certain situations, doing nothing for me is the best thing, because
I choose not to engage is a boundary. But to say, therefore, the criticism is irrelevant is a conclusion that still needs support. If you're going to say, I choose not to engage, okay, don't engage. But then to say that, therefore, the criticism is irrelevant or is not true or is not based on facts, that is you manipulating your position and your power and your subscriber numbers. That's what you're doing. Simple as that. It's a self-sealing bad faith label. Once you are saying that disagreement is classified as bad, any defense can be reinterpreted as further proof and claim, and it becomes difficult to falsify. And there's also conflation going on here of no obligation to respond with no merit in the claim. A person may be entitled not to engage, but that does not by itself show that the criticism or allegation lacks substance or facts. Silence may protect your peace, Claire, but it does not prove your innocence. It does not. So moving on. We'll go with 158. 158 or... Yeah, we'll go with 158. 158.23. I just want to finish this. It's so stupid. It's giving me a headache. Yeah, Claire is a mind reader, guys. Hi, Orange. How you doing?
Think about it.
I think, in a sense, I wouldn't know how to do it, but trying to figure out a way to actually practice letting yourself get emotional, identifying it, and then bringing yourself back would be a very productive thing to do.
I don't know if that, for me, if that's physically possible, like to do that. But I do
mean,
know,
you know, you're from
I do
Jersey
know.
and
I
you're
know.
ginger.
But examining things that
But-
did set me off after the fact, when I did feel like that, and examining why, in trying to figure out why I had such a reaction and what it was that made me feel a certain way, that's a good thing. Like hindsight, like you can learn a lot from hindsight in your own actions. Like, yeah, but I don't know, like purposely trying to get myself to be emotional about something. I mean, what do you mean? Put on a good movie and cry? Like, what are you talking about?
I think you don't. I mean, not put on like a good movie and cry, but maybe maybe you are maybe you have strong feelings about a particular topic. Going out of your way to find the oppositional idea to that topic, and like spending a few minutes reading through the comments until you find one that you really want to respond to.
So this guy came to my content, right, and commented under it. He didn't respond to anyone in the comment section. So he's talking about finding the content that's opposite to what you're saying or criticizes you. And instead of looking at the criticism, he's going for the comments under that topic. Why? Why aren't you engaging with the topic itself and the content itself? You know why? Because when he does that, he is emotional. He's full of vitriol. I'll show you what he did. Hold on. Hold on. I'll show you. That's what he did. Sorry. What the hell happened there? I can't spell queen. Oh my god. Here we go. So, if I go here, right? It was this one. No, it wasn't this one. It was this one. It came under this one, right? Uses this. And instead of engaging with my content and my criticism of him and Claire, he came in. Come on, move. And left this nasty ass message here, which is full of, like, go away. Here. That's what it is. That's what he left me. I was going back to your stream while I work on some projects and earnestly answer any questions you have that I can. However, your behavior during this stream has been grossly repugnant. You stated you have a master's in engineering, which means you have proven you are an intelligent person. Yet by carrying this title so publicly while behaving that way, you're not only insulting yourself, but also your fellow peers. And I'm confronted with the fact that you have no shame while doing it. We can both agree you're a grown adult and your qualifications prove that you have the capacity to understand nuanced dynamics and ideas in complex systems, yet you chose to take the most bad faith interpretation of at every opportunity and then use insinuation and innuendo to further muddy the waters to make your points while leaving enough room for plausible deniability to your viewers. I don't think so. I do that. I don't leave room for plausible deniability. But you didn't prove anything. You didn't bring up any instances where I did that. And then you went on to say, it's unfortunate that you seem to let your behavior reflect someone with such a fragile ego and a need to be superior. I don't wish to have a conversation with someone as disingenuous as you. So I will not be replying, and you are free to feel whatever way you want about that. I just hope you can hold yourself with a bit more respect and dignity when you go out of your way to make a point to qualify your opinion by citing your qualifications. That's not what I did. I make my point by citing my resources and my references. I cite my qualifications to say I know how to do it. Yeah, he didn't chesh nothing, no example. And when I asked for it, he didn't engage with me. I'm like, give me 2 examples of where if I've stated incorrectly or done any worse faith interpretation of. And say it in the comment section here, and I will look into it. I said, give me 2, and he never engaged with it. He just came in to beat on me because he thinks he is a co-host on a bigger channel, and he spilled this vitriol, and then he ran away because he's a coward, just like Claire. They both are cowards. He thought he could come and bully a person on a smaller channel. Yeah, when I brought up my qualifications and my experience, he brought up welding. And he got even like, I snipped him even at that also. I was like, bitch, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He went around in circles. No, there are no replies to that. It's just me. Yeah, so mature, isn't it? So calm, mature, logical. Oh my God. Yeah, it's like bullshit. This stream was after he put this comment there. And I know what this stream was. This stream was an attempt they were trying to convince themselves that they are the calm ones, they are the logical ones, and anyone else who criticizes them are the ones who have malicious intent and an agenda or something like that. And because they stayed silent, that's how they gave us whatever I did had credibility or not. That's what it is. This is what this stream is as an exercise. They're trying to, like stroke each other's egos and trying to like, yeah, you're fine, dear. We know who we are, We are the calm ones. I simply wrote for them to shut the fuck up. I should remove the comment just for the lulz. It's up to you. It's your channel. I think so it should stay there because it shows how, how hypocritical they are and how and they don't practice what they preach. Simple as that. Hi, Sable Eagle. Nice to see you. Oh, you did that just a minute ago. Oh, you didn't need to do that, Orange. Oh, my guy. It's okay. It's okay. Shucks. Oh yeah, this one. A good job in dealing with the welding one. Yeah. He came in. Oh, do you want to like breathe in fumes? I'm like, you can have an extractor fan. He's like, don't need it. It's in an open area. I'm like, then why are you talking about breathing in the fumes? I'm like, what are you talking about? This guy just came in and he didn't know what hit him. I think so. He thought he was a man. He could like fucking, mansplain me about welding. Mm. Oh shit. My neighbors will think I'm gone nuts. Okay. All right. 158.23. Let's go. We will finish this today. This will be finished today. I'm not taking it any day further. Nope. Where is it? Where did he go? 158. Here we go. Okay.
But trying to figure out a way to actually practice letting yourself get emotional, identifying it, and then bringing yourself back would be a very productive thing to do.
I don't know if that, for me, if that's physically possible, like to do that. But I
mean,
do know,
you know, you're from
I do know.
Jersey and
I
you're
know.
ginger.
But examining things that
Are you trying to excuse her behavior because she's from a certain place? What? What?
it did set me off after the fact, when I did feel like that, and examining why, in trying to figure out why I had such a reaction and what it was that made me feel a certain way, that's a good thing. Like hindsight, like you can learn a lot from hindsight in your own actions. Like, yeah, but I don't know, like purposely trying to get myself to be emotional about something. I mean, what do you mean? Put on a good movie and cry? Like, what are you talking about?
I think you don't. I mean, not put on like a good movie and cry, but maybe you are maybe you have strong feelings about a particular topic. Going out of your way to find the oppositional idea to that topic, and like spending a few minutes reading through the comments until you find one that you
Not indulge with the oppositional idea itself, but read through the comments about the oppositional idea. Okay, all right.
you really want to respond to, recognizing that you're feeling this way, identifying what it is, and consciously taking the time to not do that and just move on.
Yeah, this
And
is
just
them moving
doing
on,
that,
guys.
I think that could actually be
This is
quite
definitely them moving on.
a useful practice to have, because more often this is one of those things that
Yeah, Chesh, you're right. With zero regard for whatever behavior your emotions inflicted on the other people you're aiming them at. Yeah, without any regard for the impact their outburst or their emotions had on other people. Yeah, because they're a big channel, Chesh. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah, no emotional maturity. None at all. Like, bruh.
the only time we ever get to practice that kind of thing is in the heat of the moment.
No, it's not. It's no, you don't have to punch people, or you don't have to like treat people as punching bags to do that. No. Yeah, so they describing how they fucked up and owe money and apology? I don't know.
And when you're in the heat of the moment, it's not easy to like take that step back, especially if
Just move on. Zero responsibility, Chesh, because they're a big channel, Chesh, and we're a small channel. So yeah, who the fuck cares, right? Right? Asshole came in throwing insults at me because I fucking I proved how stupid he is. He came in looking for confrontation in my live chat, looked like an idiot, and then took out that frustration on me because he ended up looking like an idiot. So calm, so rational, so logical, oh my god. Bullshit. Chesh, what are you trying to say? Bruh? Is that what you're trying to say? Bruh? Yeah, you're trying to say bruh. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes it does that. It just it does to my noise. automatically corrects it. Can't even say bruh now in the live chat, Chesh. Nor noise. No spelling mistakes.
Especially
Yeah,
if the
if you highlight it, it
topic or the
changes.
subject that you're discussing or arguing about is something that you feel incredibly strong about.
No, I think that, I can see the validity of that. I could see that how that could work for people. I think at this point, for me, in regards to what happens like out here with the online on the platforms, I think I've been through enough to not throw myself in the fire to figure it out anymore.
Yeah, in short, I don't care what impact my actions have had because I'm a big channel, and I've caused so many fires that I don't care that I've caused fires anymore. Because there's too much smoke and it's hurting my lungs. Fucking bullshit. I'm gonna just change my headphones. Give me a sec, guys. Not this one. All right. Yeah, it's trying to translate it. Yeah, Chesh. Again. Ooh, no. That's funny. So Claire is like, of course, I have to look after my, respiratory health because of the smoke that's coming from all the fires I have set up. So I'm just not gonna care about the fires anymore. That's what she's saying. That's what she caused all the trouble, and now the trouble's coming back, and everybody's like, why did he cause all this trouble? She's like, I don't care anymore because it's so difficult to to be accountable. Yeah, that's what guys. Everyone's playing with the live chat now. Oh my word. Oh, lame. Doesn't translate Japanese. No.
And
oh, you guys are adorable.
And I'm okay with that right now. Like, I may readdress it. I don't know.
You're okay with it right now? Yeah, you don't have any conscience. You don't have any conscience, Claire. We get it.
If I could change any day depending on the situation that comes up. I'm not prepared for every situation. I'm not prepared for...
Yeah, I cause trouble. I don't care what are the effects of it. I don't care. Yeah. Taking accountability so hard, Claire, isn't it?
All of it at all. I'm just saying, from the patterns and from what I've been through, like, this is how I choose. I choose.
Yeah, Chesh, in short, if you don't want the smoke, don't start shit, bitch.
Whether to engage or not. I make an active choice. I don't say I can't do this.
So you're making an active choice for inaction. Oh, okay, gotcha.
This or I can't do that. I say I choose. I choose not to, or I choose to. I make an active choice. And that's what I would just advocate everybody to do. Like, just take the time.
Yeah, be selfish. Don't care about what impact your actions have had. Who cares, right? Yeah.
Make sure it's your choice and not a reaction if somebody provoked at you. That's all. Simple that way. Simple. It's not always easy either.
Oh, it's so hard to take accountability, Claire. McGregor over here proposing like that practicing regulation by seeking an opposing view and then reading comments until one produces a strong urge to reply, identifying the emotion and deliberately moving on. Claire prefers reviewing real incidents after the fact and says she does not need to throw herself back into the fire. Oh, as I said, I understand the intuition, skills improve through practice, but this is an improvised exposure therapy. That's what they're saying. And without any assessment, structure, hierarchy, safeguards, or a defined learning objective. Again, that's what happened. McGregor came in my comment section, hurled vitriol at me without any, safeguards or any assessment, structure, hierarchy, nothing, and then just ran away. He came in my live chat and did the same. Why, like Chesh said, why should other people be your punching bags? Emotional punching bags, McGregor. Deliberately doom scrolling until you locate the comment that most enrages you can turn several things other than regulation. Rumination, compulsive checking, selective attention to hostility, selective reaction to hostility, algorithmic reinforcement of conflict, rehearsing the belief that disagreement is a threat. And that was quite evident with his comment. And then rewarding the platform with more engagement on provocative content. Evidence-based exposure is not quote-unquote keep poking your wound and hope you become tougher. It is planned, graded, repeated, and tied to a clear therapeutic model, often with professional support when trauma or insignificant anxiety is involved. Claire's alternative reviewing that what happened after the fact may be safer, but hindsight alone can become self-justifying. A useful after action is of no use if you don't implement it. And by then it might be too late, actually. Ever thought of that? That the impact might be too big or maybe even fatal for someone? You can have better practice methods that include role play. This was a very good opportunity for both of you, and you wasted it. Wasted it, completely wasted it. Have mock difficult conversations. You could have had that with me in the live chat, McGregor, but you came in like a fucking coward, tried to be condescending towards me, and then ran away. When I was trying to be very good faith with you. Anyone who was in the live chat can see. So yeah, unwarranted therapeutic analogy, a self-directed research for upsetting content as compared to therapeutic practice over here, without any assessment. Practice makes perfect is oversimplification. Practice can reinforce wrong behavior, and we clearly saw that. Selection bias, searching until one finds an enraging comment guarantees unrepresentative sample. Claire's correction is, in my opinion, too late. I was polite to him. I was trying to have a good conversation with him. I asked him, I'm like, what, do you have an issue with something I said? Yeah, Chesh, they're out there just explaining how miserable they are and blaming everyone else for it. That's what it is. So yeah, doom scrolling is not exposure therapy, and also, if you keep on hurting people and you still don't learn after the fact, Claire, it's of no use. Then you should just go away if you keep harming people. The difference, Chesh from the live chat said, the difference between nice and polite is as vast as the difference between chaste and celibacy. Yeah. Alright, moving on.
Oh, goody. Have social media platforms made Law 39 more effective, or have they made provocateurs easier to expose?
100% both. Absolutely both. Without a shadow.
Yeah, like you did. You came in my side chat and tried to provoke me by being a condescending prick. Maybe.
Of a doubt.
I would say social media platforms have made provocateurs more evident. Like there's more of them. It seems to be the way to go sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like
that's it?
always, situational. It can be both. And I hate to keep saying that, like, because people say, Claire, you sit on the fence, you never decide. Well, in certain situations, like, it depends on the elements and the context and everything that's going on.
But they're saying you always do that. And you never explain yourself. You've never given your reasons. You just say, I want to do it. It's for my best interest. That's it. That's all you care about. Your best interest. That's it.
So there's not, in most cases, a standard answer. That's life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm willing to accept it. I'm willing to accept it as that.
Yeah, Chesh, you're right. Neither of these people could answer what the difference is between responsibility and accountability.
Say for that question, both are true. Both are true. Both are true. There's no order.
Yeah.
There's both. Yeah, both. Because in dealing with the provocateurs, when you expose them, then of course you're going to use 39 as a defense.
Oh, God, here we go.
So, yeah. I guess it's time, huh?
Yep.
I guess it's time,
I believe we are up to the reversal.
We are. We were running on such good time, and then just...
The reversal? What the fuck is this? I don't know. But yeah, talking about this, McCracker, the question asked was, has social media strengthened the Law 39 or exposed provocateurs? McCracker answers 100% both without a shadow of doubt. And then Claire says both can be true depending on the context and provocateurs are more visible. Both is plausible. 100% without a shadow of doubt is empty confidence. That's all it is. So you could have just said both are plausible. Social platforms can make provocation more effective because outrage and moral emotional language can increase sharing. Research has found that moral emotional wording is associated with greater diffusion. Yes, and that outrage can facilitate the spread of misinformation. Platforms can also preserve receipts, reveal contradictory statements, like we have done today, enable collective fact-checking, and expose coordinated conduct. But those two effects are not symmetrical, universal, or guaranteed. Exposure can increase the provocateur's reach. A debunk can repeat the false claim. An algorithm may reward the conflict. A clipped video may make the calm manipulator look reasonable. And a distressed target look unstable. The platform's design, audience recommendation system, moderation, topic, and power imbalance all matter. That's how you would explain it if you had done your research, both of you. But you're so shallow and superficial, that's all you do. It's okay, yes, it's a clear, I will give it to her. She's right here to resist a standard answer here. Context sensitivity is not sitting on the fence when the causal system generally has multiple interacting variables. But then she slips again by saying that when you expose provocateurs, you will of course use Law 39 as the defense. No, Claire, you can expose falsehoods with records, chronology, primary sources, and precise argument, like I did here today and yesterday. You do not need to bait anybody into dysregulation. Evidence is not a fishing technique. So the errors that are being performed here are McCracker is performative certainty and false quantification, Claire appropriate contextual qualification, then a non sequitur. Exposing a provocateur does not require using the Green's law at all. You don't have to use it. Possible amplification neglect. Exposure can benefit the person exposed. Exposure can correct or amplify. Both can happen, or like one of those can happen. Or both can happen. And that's what my issue is with them. They don't know what they're talking about. And they refuse to go in and delve in any deeper or further. Too simplistic, shallow, superficial. I'll keep using these words because that's what they are. And manipulative, if I may dare say, especially on Claire's side.
Just like always, we just got carried away in the conversation, but it's always good conversation. So I don't want to sound apologetic for going overtime.
I always like it.
I know you do. I know you do. All right, so the reversal is right from Greene's book. This is Greene's interpretation of when this law is not such a good idea to use. Okay, the reversal: when playing with people's emotions, you gotta be careful. Study the enemy beforehand. Some fish are best left at the bottom of the pond. The leaders of the city of Tyre.
Again, dehumanizing people and treating them as fish.
Capital of ancient Phoenicia, felt confident that they could withstand Alexander the Great, who had conquered the Orient but had not attacked their city, which stood well protected on the water. They sent ambassadors to Alexander saying that although they would recognize him as emperor, they would not allow him or his forces to enter Tyre. This, of course, enraged him, and he immediately mounted a siege. For 4 months, the city withstood him, and finally he decided that the struggle was not worth it, and that he would come to terms with the Tyrians. But they, feeling that they had already baited Alexander and gotten away with it, and confident that they could withstand him, refused to negotiate. In fact, they killed his messengers. They pushed Alexander over the edge. Now it did not matter to him how long the siege lasted or how large an army it needed. He had the resources and would do whatever it took. He remounted his assault so strenuously that he captured Tyre within days, burned it to the ground, and sold its people into slavery. You can bait the powerful and get them to commit and divide their forces, as Sun Pin did. But test the waters first. Find the gap in their strength. If there is no gap, if they are impossibly strong, you have nothing to gain and everything to lose by provoking them. Choose carefully whom you bait and never stir up the sharks. Finally, there are times when a well-timed burst of anger can do you good, but your anger must be manufactured and under your control.
So now it's good. Oh, this is because this is the reversal. I don't want to sound apologetic while I display the most unabashed, unempathetic, selfish, irresponsible behavior ever. And then Chesh follows it by, oh, fuck off. So Claire is reading Greene's reversal. Tyre is called the capital of ancient Phoenicia, and Alexander is said to have been recognized as quote-unquote emperor. The city supposedly held out for 4 months, killed negotiators, and was then captured within days, burned, and sold into slavery. So this is what happens when history is forced into a motivational fable, if I might say. The chronology is compressed until the moral looks inevitable. Pick your battles, right? First, Tyre was a major Phoenician city-state and strategically important Persian naval base. Calling it the capital of quote-unquote ancient Phoenicia imposes a centralized national model on a network of Phoenician city-states. Second, quote-unquote emperor is a loose and anachronistic label here. Alexander was king of Macedon, and after defeating Darius, claimed wider imperial authority. The Tyrian dispute concerned access to the island city and sacrifice at the temple of Melkart, not a modern-style recognition ceremony. Third, the siege did not last 4 months and then suddenly resolved within days because Alexander became extra angry. It ran from roughly January to July of 332 BCE, about 7 months. Alexander overcame the island defenses through enormous engineering, a causeway siege, equipment, and naval support. That's what he did. Fourth, yes, the eventual sack was brutal. Ancient accounts describe mass killing and enslavement. Although exact numbers vary by source, that brutality does not validate the psychological story that Tyrian bait, quote-unquote, magically converted Alexander's anger into an immediate tactical breakthrough. The causal machinery was logistics, engineering, naval superiority, manpower, time, and imperial determinism. Greene replaces that machinery with a cinematic emotion. They provoked him, so he captured them within days. This is narrative compression, post hoc reasoning, and great man psychology. It turns a 7-month military campaign into a warning not to annoy powerful people. There's also a disturbing moral frame. The lesson is not do not massacre and enslave a city. The lesson is choose your target carefully because the shark may eat you. Ethics have disappeared, only relative power has remained over here. If you're going to fact check, Livius dates Alexander's siege of Tyre from January to July of 332 BCE and describes Tyre as a Phoenician city and Persian naval base taken after construction of a causeway and the acquisition of naval assistance. It was not a 4-month siege followed by an anger-powered capture in a few days. That's not what it was. And I'll give you my reference for that. Here we go. This is my reference. Here we go. The Siege of Tyre. Like, guys, come on. Fact check your shit. So the errors and fallacies here. Historical compression, a long and complicated sequences shortened until the omitted logistics and chronology no longer constrain the lesson being told. Causal oversimplification, a complex outcome with multiple causes is attributed to one emotionally satisfying factor. Post hoc fallacy, renewed fury is treated as the cause of the victory. Great man history, structural and military factors vanish into one leader's mood. Victim blaming frame, the atrocity becomes the consequence of provoking the powerful. And then, so they're blaming the victim here. Appeal to force, what the powerful can do is treated as strategic truth. So Tyre or Tyre, I don't, hopefully I'm not butchering the name. It fell after 7 months of engineering and naval war. Not just like because someone got suddenly more angry. And they don't fact check it at all. Nothing is fact checked in this entire stream. You just take the author's word on it. That's it.
Then you can determine exactly how and on whom it will fail. Never stir up reactions that will work against you in the long run. And use your thunderbolts rarely to make them the more intimidating and meaningful. Whether purposefully staged or not, if your outbursts come too often, they will lose their power.
So, Greene's reversal says a well-timed burst of anger can help, provided the anger is manufactured, controlled, directed at the right person, and used rarely. And here it is after 2 hours of anger exposes weakness. Anger becomes useful when the powerful person performs it deliberately. Before it was anger exposes weakness. Now it's like, oh yeah, it can become useful if the powerful person performs it deliberately. So what was all that you said in the support of the whole thing? Again and again, and how you use it in your daily life, you both. What the fuck was that? So it means that anger was never the real variable. Control, credibility, context, power, and audience were. Right? A deliberately intensified display can sometimes communicate seriousness. A manager may lower their voice and state a hard boundary. An advocate may use moral anger to convey urgency. But quote-unquote manufactured anger can also be intimidation, coercion, emotional abuse, and theater designed to make a subordinate believe consequences are imminent. The ethical question is not merely, will this work? It is the concern legitimate? Is the display proportionate? Is the target free to disagree? Is there a power imbalance? Is the speaker creating fear instead of explaining the consequences? Could a direct factual statement achieve the same result without manipulation? We can notice Greene's asymmetry here again. Sorry, give me a sec. Yeah, we can see what asymmetry is coming up here. When the opponent becomes angry, that proves weakness. When the strategist manufactures anger, that proves mastery. Identical outward behavior receives opposite moral meaning depending on which character Greene wants the reader to admire. That is not a law, that is a protagonist bias. It's a bias. And quote-unquote use your thunderbolts rarely so they remain intimidating is explicitly advice about cultivating fear. Call it what it is. It's cultivating fear. So the errors, fallacy, and qualifications here. Special pleading. Anger is weakness for others and power for the strategist. Protagonist bias. The same behavior is judged differently depending on whether the person is cast as the strategist or the target. Instrumental ethics. Effectiveness substitutes for rightness. Euphemism. Intimidation becomes a well-timed burst. Controlled anger can still be coercion, Claire. McRicker. No, they don't understand what they're reading. Both of them. They don't. It's just full of shit. And they don't want to do any research about it.
And that's it. That was Greene's part of the reversal. And that is something we talked about through the whole stream. You know, how when it doesn't. Hello, Anna. Staying calm is usually the ultimate power play. Debate only works if you bite. That is very true, Anna. And thank you for joining us. We're just wrapping up, but I hope you'll catch the replay. Because basically what you just said there was the whole stream. Greene's version and our interpretations of it afterwards, like pretty much, with lots of different examples and conversation in between.
Your examples were pathetic. Let me just say, you did no research, and I think so you just did a Google search and you found a list of slides on this whole topic and decided to cover this shit.
But yeah. You know, this series itself about power in general can be harsh, especially from Greene's interpretation of it in his, no holes barred
But you agree with
versions, I call it.
But you agree with it. That's the end thing, isn't it?
And how this series was the challenge to try to make it more digestible for the everyday person for everyday situations. Explain why these laws of Greene's may work, like against us because of human nature, and how we can actually protect ourselves from them, or at least recognize when they're being used.
Absolutely.
This one can be useful by paying attention and finding out when somebody is trying to provoke you. Like, in whether or not you should give up your power by giving them what they want, which is the response.
Yeah.
And that would be situational. That would depend
Chesh from the live chat, how to manipulate poorly, Claire 101. Yeah.
on, how they're approaching it and what is being said or done, and it's going to be different for every person.
Yep.
But being aware that it's going on is to your benefit, because then the power is still with you and you get to make the choice. Don't be provoked.
Yes, and that is ultimately the most important thing, is being able to identify it. And doing and
same generic
moving
shit.
with what's the word? I love it when words decide to not to run away. Do move with deliberacy, intention.
Deliberation. Yeah, move with deliberate intention. I get
intention.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Would you like to tell them what the next chapter is?
So, staying calm is the ultimate power play. That's a chat comment. And the comment is like, the bait only works if you bite, and calmness is the ultimate power play. Claire summarizes the series as helping people recognize manipulation and choose deliberately. McGregor concludes that the key is identifying provocation and moving with deliberate intention. The conclusion has useful residue, but it is still wrapped in the wrong metaphor. Staying calm is not the ultimate power play. Sometimes the right response is calm, sometimes it is visibly angry but control. Sometimes it is an immediate safety intervention, sometimes it is a written correction, a formal complaint, a union representative, a manager, a regulator, a lawyer, a moderator, or simply leaving. The goal should not be to win the composure contest. The goal should be to act accurately, ethically, safely, and effectively. The bait only works if your bite also has limits. A false allegations can damage someone who never responds. Harassment or someone who has responded and then decided to run away. Harassment can affect employment and health without target posting a single angry reply. We have seen that in case of, in the case of someone we have been, talking about. Discrimination does not become harmless because the target practices serenity. Like, this fucking moron came into my live chat being a condescending prick, and then afterwards he decided to be, I'm not going to engage in it. Yeah, angry does not equal lack of control. Yes, Shesh. The metaphor is risking making the injured person responsible for neutralizing somebody else's misconduct through perfect self-control. And the final phrase, like, move with deliberate intention, is much better. I would rewrite the whole law this way. Notice activation, separate observation from inference, verify the facts, assess safety and duty, choose a proportionate response, document what matters, do not infer truth, guilt, or motive from demeanor. Do not manufacture another person's dysregulation for entertainment or advantage. That is the conflict competence. No enemies, fish, sharks, strings, or whirlpools are required. So errors, fallacy, and qualifications in this instance. Power framing of ordinary self-regulation, a basic emotional regulation skill, is recast as dominance over an opponent, unnecessarily turning conflict competence into a status contest. Just world implication: if bait harmed you, perhaps you bit. Overlooking external consequences independent of reaction. The framework ignores harms that continue whether or not the target visibly responds, such as reputational damage, harassment, or discrimination. Strong final principle, once stripped of Greene's adversarial mythology, deliberate, evidence-based, and proportionate action is sound advice once it is separated from enemies, bait, and power games. Deliberate intention, not a composure contest. That's what it should be. The Hulk exists. Yeah, right? That's my secret. I'm always angry. Alright, let's listen to this. Yeah.
I absolutely can. And the next chapter is deciding to run away from me. It is...
Oh, they're going to talk about the chapter 40. Okay, whatever. That's fine. I think so we are done. Ugh. Do I have anything else that I need to? So yeah, like after 2 hours, more than 2 hours, the useful content fits on an index card. Notice when you are activated, do not make reckless decisions in that state. Ask direct questions, set boundaries, document responsibilities, and choose engagement deliberately. Everything else is the mythology of power layered over basic conflict competence. So their central mistake over here has been confusing three different things: how a person feels, how a person appears, or whether a person is correct. Those are not the same. A person can feel furious, speak imperfectly, and be factually right. A person can feel nothing, speak beautifully, and lie. A person can manufacture calmness or manufacture anger. Once performance is possible, demeanor cannot carry the burden they place on it. Their second mistake is treating the reaction as x-rays of hidden motive. Anger does not uniquely reveal vanity. Defensiveness does not uniquely reveal guilt. Silence does not uniquely reveal strength. Human behavior is multiply determined. Without corroborating evidence, their reaction exposes their agenda is not an analysis. It's just storytelling. Third mistake is using history as a costume for causation. Napoleon's fall was not caused by one tantrum 6 years before Waterloo. Haile Selassie's consolidation was not a benign boundary exercise. Tyre did not fall within days because Alexander finally became angry enough. Greene selects a protagonist, edits a complicated history into a parable, and then declares the ending proof of the law. Their fourth mistake is the ethical one. They begin with self-control and repeatedly drift into learning weak spots, eliciting reactions, using information against people, manipulating pride and love, and manufacturing intimidation. That is not merely protecting your peace. It is controlling somebody else's nervous system for advantage. And finally, they confess the weakness of the whole framework themselves. They say that the calm person can be wrong and still be perceived as the winner. Exactly, calmness can win a performance, it cannot prove a proposition. So here is the corrected law for you guys. Do not surrender judgment to emotional flooding, but do not surrender judgment to the appearance of calm either. Verify, document, respond proportionally or proportionately, correct misinformation, protect safety, set boundaries, and never confuse somebody's tone with the truth of what they are saying. Calm is not a truth serum. Anger is not a confession. Evidence still has to do the work. So yeah. I'll see if I can put my, let me see if I can put my references for everyone. Here we go. I'll put my references in the description after we finish today. So, and I'm done with this one. This one's done. We are done. There's only 4 more minutes left. It's just they're talking about the next chapter. I don't know when they're going to cover it, but it will be interesting to see what they talk about in it. Tone policing or tone policing? It's like when it's all them trying to like soothe themselves that their overreaction is warranted and their silence is warranted, but anyone else it's manipulative and it's malicious. That's all this exercise was. Them trying to stroke their own egos and soothing themselves about their own behavior. And putting a label of maliciousness and manipulation on other people's behavior. That's all this was. So yeah, try better. I hope. I don't know if you're going to try better next time, both of you, but I don't have high hopes from either of you. McGregor, Claire, I don't think so. You have the capability to do that. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming, and yeah, that's all for this time. And yeah, also one more thing, Claire, please stop stealing content. That's an advice from me. Stop stealing content, or at least like add commentary to it. Like just picking up a stream and just restreaming it. What the fuck? Toon policing, Victoria. All right, yeah. So I'm done for this for now. Let's see what they do with the chapter 40. I don't know if they're capable of doing anything right. They're so pretentious. They're pretentious. That's what they pretend that they know what they're talking about. And I keep saying they think that just because they can speak English, they think that anything that comes out of their mouths makes sense. So yeah, fake as fuck. All right, everyone. Okay, bye. Take care. Thanks, Tej, for coming. Thanks, everyone, for coming. EMP, Victoria, Rose, Athens, Orange. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Bye.